and a very good ball player, and Sabonis there. So when you've got younger guys around you with an experienced coach, and then you bring your game, not surprised at the season that Keegan Murray had.
Okay, cool. Well, real quick, want to apologize real quick. For some odd reason, my thing did not go live, so we're live now. We were not live. We were live on the radio, but we weren't live on YouTube. I don't know why. I'm looking. I say, why is it not red? And it wasn't even live. I don't know. I clicked the
It's
button.
all right.
It is what it is. If you just now joining, we're doing the end of the season All NBA Team Award. We're doing the end of the season award for the NBA. And right now we're talking about all NBA teams. We're talking about the rookies, the all rookie team right now. Unfortunately, I'm sorry I started the live late, so I want to apologize. I thought it was started, but if you hear me on the radio, you hear the whole show. But if you just now picking up, we're shortly in. We're talking about our rookies. All right. I see. Like for the most part, we all was under the same boat. Majority of the same players. We at least had 4 of the same 5 on our list, so it wasn't that much a difference between our rookies. Is there anybody y'all felt like possibly could have made the list, but they showed up in the first half, but something happened in the second half they dropped off?
Mine was Jabari Smith. I felt like first half he was struggling a little bit to get into the league, kind of figure out his position. When you got a whole bunch of young guys like Rockets, it's really hard to figure out the control of who's going to do what, who's going to do this, because there's a lot of ego going on. But I think he definitely kind of figured out where he needed to be in that second half, especially after the trade of Eric Gordon, where it was just straight young guys. And he stepped up definitely a lot more than I think. But I don't think just not enough to really hit the all rookie team this year. But definitely an honorable mention.
All right. Okay, so we're going to jump over to the third All NBA team, which is going to be a very interesting conversation because I feel like we have some real. Because we're starting with third, going to second, going to the first team. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to start with my third team, and then we'll go from there. I had at my point guard position Jalen Brunson. At my shooting guard position, Jalen Brown. Yep. At my small forward, DeMar DeRozan. At my power forward, Julius Randle. And at my center position, Brooke Lopez.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, KDH.
Okay, for mine, I have for the point guard, I got De'Aaron Fox. Shooting guard, I got Donovan Mitchell. For small forward, I have LeBron. Power forward, I have Julius Randle. And for the center, I got AD.
Mr. Alfonso.
I have Fox, Mitchell, Jalen Brown, ironically, Lauren Markkinen, and I love this one because this is going to spark a conversation. Sabonis's baby.
Okay.
I know that I love the look. I can appreciate the discomfort look.
You said Jalen. What you said? Sabonis's baby.
Yeah, his son.
Yeah. Sabonis
Man, you just hit them with something they don't know nothing about.
Sabonis is a junior.
They don't know nothing about RB.
Hey, I ain't had
He's
no
a junior.
clue. Okay,
He's a junior. I'm like, why are you confused for?
I was like,
yeah, he had that look like I was making this up.
I was like, did Sabonis son somebody this season? Like,
what's going on? No, sir.
I was like, what are you confused about?
That's the reason why I did it, J. Hill.
Understood.
I already knew, man. They don't know nothing about RB.
No, he don't know nothing.
I didn't. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't.
You don't know nothing about Arvydas Sabonis, bro?
Oh, no, he's not our Vetus or your Vetus.
Nah, I'm not even gonna lie. But I guess
give us your list. Yeah, go
my
ahead.
list. I had Jalen Brunson as a point guard. I had Donovan Mitchell as a shooting guard. I had Jalen Brown as a small forward. Lauri Markkinen as a power forward, and Sabonis as a center.
Joel, it's all yours.
I don't look, guys. I didn't do a first, second, and third team. I wanted to get y'all reaction to this. I think all of those players in there was good. The one I will say is deserving of All NBA though, despite them being eliminated today. Lauri Markkanen. Markkanen has been this type of player with Chicago. Didn't get that much bump, then went to Cleveland. But today, this season, you saw what he was able to do, and then the breakout of De'Aaron Fox. So I agree with those two. Brunson. I like Brunson. Of course, he plays for Thibodeau. If you guys don't know, I'm a Thibodeau fan, and you have to do certain things under Thibodeau. So those guys are very good. That's a very good crop there. And then, of course, Arvidas' son.
Wow. I mean, and when I look at it, and I'll sit here and break down my list. When I look at the way Sacramento is in the playoffs, as Joel mentioned earlier, certainly they've been there. That young crop of talent has been there, and it's been about meshing it together. And we'll talk about the coach later on down the road. But the fact that they're putting it together, and Sabonis, Fox, those guys have been intricate pieces, along with obviously the other young talent buying in and doing what they had to do. But I think sometimes in any good program, whether it's the pros, whether it's high school, whether it's college, is you need a solid point guard, okay, and you need a more than serviceable post player. You know, someone who is going to be able to get you some rebounding. I think Joel and I, we were laughing at something where someone said the handoff on the pick and roll that Sabonis had over 1,000 of those. And we were like, wait a minute, his dad might as well have invented that whole pick and roll handoff. I mean, and again, for those who are watching, and look up Arvidas Sabonis. He was literally one of the greatest players to ever play this game. And too bad he got into the NBA later in life, because had he, like, guys like the Joker modeled their game after guys like Arvidas Sabonis.
Just tell it the way it is. The way we would say it now, he came to the NBA after his prime.
Yes.
And still was very, very dominant for Portland, but he made his hay playing overseas, and he he's a dynamic player. And the dribble handoff to DHO, we go through all these trends now, but I just think it's other people that want to be involved that give this stuff names, but that's been there.
Yep.
Okay, understood.
But then to accentuate your point, though, I know you want to get to it later, Alfonso, but there was a trade that Sacramento made in there that allowed them to be able to do those type of things, because they knew they couldn't have both Halliburton and Fox there. And I like Halliburton as well, but what fits, what meshes, and we can see that the trade with Sabonis is what meshed. And then Mike Brown was able to come in there and take it to another level. Sacramento has been, since that trade, has been very good, and since the hire of Mike Brown has been very.
I think that was just to go off that trade. I think that trade was very even.
No, yes, I think that was probably the greatest trade of that season.
That's probably
because it both benefited both teams,
without a doubt. Because both teams, honestly, Indiana's an upgrowing team, and they're thriving off that. I mean, Halliburton, they just need a couple more pieces.
Well, they got rid of everybody, too. They got rid of Dante DiVincenzo. They got rid of Buddy Hield. They got rid of a lot of pieces that we thought maybe they had something good with, but they ended up getting rid of. They ended up picking up Kevin Huter. They ended up getting
that, and that's also major, too.
Monk. Yeah, they ended up picking
that,
up.
And that's also major. You picking up Kevin Huter,
so
their floor is wide open.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, y'all. We're having technical difficulties.
Or if we want to, we like to remember him here in Georgia, Red Velvet.
Red Velvet. I'm not calling him that.
Why not? That's what he is.
The brother's smooth, but I'm not calling him.
Or go ahead.
So you know what he said? You can't call him Red Velvet. So I guess he didn't like Dirk Delicious either.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not calling Dirk Delicious, but Dirk, that's a bad boy right there. I'm not taking it away from him. I'm just not calling him that.
Look, the first time
I'm poking at you, bro.
Yeah,
oh no! All good. I said Dirk Delicious is crazy though. If I ever heard somebody call Dirk Delicious, hey, they got it. They got it.
There were plenty of times he was called that on broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes.
That's respect though. Respect.
I have a question. Do anybody have any issues with me having Jalen Brunson on the third team?
No, I had him on third team.
No, I think he fits right there in that category of 13 because he needs some recognition.
He certainly does, and again, even as the resident Knicks fan in here, he has certainly helped elevate that team so much more with his play and his performance. And everybody criticized the contract, but it was well worth it so far.
Most definitely.
Sure did. A lot of people.
Nobody thought he was he upped his points by 8 points per game. He's averaging 24, 6. And
I mean, he's never declined at all in his entire career in the NBA. He's always
right. But he took a drastic jump this season.
Mm-hmm. He finally got what he needed. He's finally starting. He's with a team that is actually having him utilize the ball, where it's not in Luka's hands 24/7 or not in Luka's hands majority of the time. It's actually through Jalen Brunson. You're actually able to run it through Jalen Brunson. And Knicks needed a point guard.
Yes, they did.
And he took a bit of himself.
That happens because of Tom Thibodeau. I'm sorry. I'm a Thibodeau guy. So now you see he's able to get Brunson in, have the pieces interchanged around him. They didn't have Randle that much. And they're a 4 seed, 5 seed. And now where's Dallas? So there's a lot of things where you have to be able to – basketball players that want to play and thrive, you're able to come in and play under Tom Thibodeau and execute what he wants you to execute. Thibodeau is not an easy coach to play for. So to be able to thrive and have that success just goes to show that he listened. He wanted to be in. He was brought in. Thibodeau put him in play situation to make plays. He made plays and made himself valuable and made everyone else around him better, which is what a true point guard is supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the second team.
Hold on, I just got a quick question. Can I ask a question? Who put Julius Randle in the third team?
I did.
And why?
I put Julius in the third team.
Okay, because you know what? Right now we're doing position. We're doing by.
I'm trying to. I understand that, but I'm trying to understand. Again, I am the resident Knicks fan, and I'm still wouldn't even have about my 13.
I mean, me personally, the man played 77 games. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
he's one of the most available players in the league. He's also the second reason why Knicks are even relevant. I mean, we even last year and the year before that, he's always been main reason why they've been relevant. For 3, he's putting up 25 and 10, which is only like at least 7, 8 more players that are actually doing that. What other players are really doing? Even Anthony Davis is only averaging 26 and 12, and he hasn't even played nearly 20 plus games as Julius Randle. So I think the availability, his ability to score, them being in 4th seed, I don't think that was expected, even with the Jalen Brunson, because the expectation of Jalen Brunson, I think, was much.
I agree with that. As a team, they wouldn't. I didn't necessarily, think they get a 4th seed. I was anticipating a 6 and even a possible playoff. Playing team, but the fact that they got it, sure, Jalen Brunson, him being able to orchestrate the offense, I'm totally with. And I know Randall has been, and I think sometimes I find it hard as a fan to watch him play. I've seen him play,
especially 4th quarter. I will.
Man. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm making that point, because I'm like this. Okay, I'm looking for something that's going to give me. I don't expect to go to a 5-star restaurant and only get half my meal.
Yeah,
that's understood. But you're gonna hate me for the second. You're gonna hate me for the second team.
But I think
I'm not gonna hate you. I'm just gonna ask questions.
I mean, he's still shooting fairly well from 3-point, shooting 34, and he's shooting about 50% from the field. So, like I said, with all considered, the availability, where he's seated, and how he's helped the team, I will say my only flaw with him is his 4th quarter performances are questionable. The amount of turnovers he commits in the 4th quarter.
For 30.
But for the rest of those 30 minutes, he plays very well.
He'll go for a good 30 ball first 3 quarters. It's 4th quarter, 2 points.
It's a struggle.
1 for 7. Like, bro, what?
It's a struggle.
And unfortunately, I guess too, because I have had an opportunity to see him play travel ball in high school. Like, the game hasn't really evolved other than he's gotten stronger. You know what I mean? He's just gotten stronger at every level.
To me, his game and Zion's game is similar.
Okay, y'all, real quick, we got to move on to the second team.
Go ahead.
Real quick, KDH, you had him on your third team?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I did too, because I thought he was talking about me, because I didn't even hear you say you had him on third team. Okay, move on to the second team, and I tweet something. Like I said, I just did my list maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes ago before we started the show. I had in my point guard Luka Doncic, had at my shooting guard Anthony Edwards. Small forward, Mikal Bridges. Power forward, Jaren Jackson Jr. And at the center, I had the Joker.
Wow. I'm very surprised by that.
Ooh,
I'm
hold
just
up.
be
Wait a
honest.
minute.
I'm gonna be-
Man,
all right,
I hate
who's
that I
next?
don't have a sound.
Who's next?
I hate that I don't have a sound effects machine. You know what I'm saying? Over here to be like, oh,
Who's next? Who's next? I gotta hear these lists now.
I'll take the next
I'm gonna
one.
go. I'm gonna go. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
No, you got it.
I said you'll be surprised. I said I put Dame. I put Steph. I have to throw LeBron in there. 28, 9 and 9. I had to throw him in there, even though he played 55 games. I had to throw him in there. For this instance, for all the reasons we just named. I said for this instance that what's called we just named Julius Randle. Like I said, I would have played KD had he played more minutes or
He played
Anthony
47
Davis.
games.
I said had he played more games.
I thought you said minutes.
No, I meant games. If I said minutes, and then I played Joel Embiid.
Probably the most sensible part was Joel Embiid. Probably.
All right, who you
I
got?
got it.
Baseline. Go ahead, man.
I got it. I got Dame time. I got Alexander. Okay. I got Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and my last one, the Butler did it.
Anthony Davis.
Okay,
Yeah,
bro,
I'll give
Anthony Davis was. Oh my, the Lakers are not where they are with Anthony Davis.
I had him 13.
I was see that's the thing. I was like
Due
between
to injuries, and that's part of it. And I've seen games where that man has only scored 8 points in the whole game.
I agree.
And he let everybody score. So that was he got to be in there. But
I agree.
The only reason, like I said, I was hesitant with LeBron, but I was like, for a while, I was like, it was either him or Jaylen Brown. My fault. But
Let KDH finish it and let JHillsman go. Then we'll discuss.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
go ahead.
I got Dame. I think everybody got Dame. I had Steph. Oh, I have Steph.
You went.
I got Steph Curry. For me, I had Jaylen Brown. For the power forward is where I had Baby Sabonis, and then I had Joel Embiid.
I'm trying to figure out how y'all got players who didn't even play enough games to be in first and second.
What is the qualification this year?
Technically, it's really no qualification.
Okay, so then.
What you mean?
But
We're going by if we're going by DT's rules, you're right. We're probably but we're not going by
I know we're not going by DT
because it's not in the DT collective bargaining agreement paperwork just yet to be a part of this show. Next year maybe, but right now Joe Hillman.
Before anybody give their opinion, I want to hear what Joe got to say about everybody's selection. I know he didn't do one, but I want to hear what he has to say.
I don't know how in the heck y'all got Embiid and Joker on the second team. Like, that's beyond me. But
one of them has to be because they're only
one of them has to be
both locked in the center.
Yep, one of them has to be.
Okay, then I give you that. Okay.
What about everybody else?
Oh, Anthony Edwards most definitely. Dame most definitely. Sabonis most definitely. Like. I could go with that, and I'm okay with, I'm sorry, he LeBron, but that's first team still.
You said
he said LeBron's still first team.
LeBron's still first team. Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I think from a player standard, I'm putting LeBron first team. From an NBA standard, I'm gonna have to put him third. I can understand that. As a player, I don't think there's more than probably 5 to 6 players better than LeBron. If I'm a player out there, there's not.
But I mean, you just still look at his impact of the basketball game when he's on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what he's been able to do at his production clip. So at the end of the day, he's still pound for pound, regardless of how you think or how you feel. He's still one of the top 5 players in the NBA.
He is without a doubt. I just like I said, it was just the games played. I was like, I'm gonna give somebody else.
Listen,
I understand.
Okay, at 38, I understand that versus somebody at 24.
Yeah.
Understood.
Now, I have a quick question, though, because I've seen some of y'all had Anthony Edwards over Jaylen Brown. Why?
Anthony Edwards actually dominated the basketball game more, did not have the talent around him as Jaylen Brown did.
Correct.
Did show up every night minus the ankle injury, and then performed at a high level, even in games where his shooting percentages were not that great. He played with Minnesota. Minnesota wound up with 5 or 6 national television games, but every time you looked up, Anthony Davis is showing you the mid-range game. He's showing you the dime ability. He's showing you the defensive ability.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards. I'm talking
You said
Anthony Edwards, not
you said
Davis.
Edwards.
Edwards.
That's who I'm
Oh, okay.
talking about. Yeah, well, I'm not talking about Glass AD. No way.
Oh, you
I'm
said
talking
Anthony
about
Davis.
Edwards.
You said Davis.
Oh,
That's
I'm
why we were
sorry.
confused for a second.
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm sorry. I'm
my
talking
only
about
issue with
Anthony Edwards, number
Okay,
one,
just make sure.
Minnesota.
Oh, we got you. We got you.
okay, yeah, I was
And I got him because he played 78 games. Out of the 82, he only missed 4 games. And even though I didn't like his comment when he said that he thought he was better than KD.
Why not?
No, I was about to say, why not? Let's go. Let's
I
dive in.
love his comment.
I didn't like his comment when he said he thought he was better than KD. That I didn't like.
I love it.
Yeah. No, I mean I like the confidence, but man, come on now. Let's be real.
No one's gonna say they're not
D,
better.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this now. Even at the professional level, of any level of being professional, I'm not gonna say somebody's better. I want to go at everybody's head.
You could go at everybody's head, but you don't come out and say, "I think I'm better." Is he
supposed to be scared of him?
No, he don't have to be scared. But come on, I'm better.
Like I said, this is your personal opinion, though. He believes
Watch this. So all Anthony Edwards was unfiltered and uncensored.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it's true, but I mean, come on. Even though I like I said, I didn't like the comment. I mean, I still got him on my list, so I ain't hold it against him. I just thought the comment was BS. It was bullshit. I mean,
but it's not.
Why?
He's not better than KD. I'm sorry, he's not better than KD.
Is he supposed to go against KD and just have 5 points and be scared of him? No, he's supposed to go at his head.
Well, okay, hold on. I know we got to move on, DT, but you know me. I always have to have substance behind it. He said what he said. Okay, his numbers at this point in his career versus KD numbers are right there. KD's just a little longer, a little taller. Absolutely. But KD played in Oklahoma City and had other pieces around him. Now, Anthony Edwards has that now. I don't take homage for him saying what he had to say. Now, we don't have to agree with it, but it's like a lot of people didn't like him saying that if you 80%, you should play. So I think we actually need more of this going forward. And you have a young man who's always been that way. And he's always been humble. But now I put in this work over the last couple of seasons. I've been giving everybody in the league has gotten some of me this year. I'm okay with that. So
let me say this.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. You could be confident. You say, I think I'm the best player in the league. Okay, cool. Okay. But don't call out a direct player and say I'm better than KD. Sorry, I'm that pushing. Just one of the greatest scorers of all time. Because if they both standing right there and you say who you go pick on your team, I guarantee 95% of people go pick KD over Anthony Edwards. So I'm just saying that. I'm not saying don't feel confident about yourself as being one best player. You could say that, but don't directly say that you think you're better than KD. Don't come out and say that because when you feel like you taking shots. Hold on. Let me say this one thing. No, he brought out KD. Nobody didn't. It was on NBA Radio. He didn't bring up the name. He didn't want to mention KD because let me tell you the thing. When people, what happened when people used to say crap about they thought they could take LeBron. Guess what LeBron did to him when he got on the court against him? He heard him talking about he killed everybody. And he give them that look. I remember players all the time. You'd always say they thought they could take LeBron, and LeBron you'd bust their ass on the court. So that's
so what you're telling me is then I guess we're gonna have to wait to see KD match up against Minnesota, and and be able to make that happen. Because at the end of the day, just because he goes, "Oh, I'm the best player in the NBA." Because it's a broad statement that it doesn't hurt anyone's feelings? No, let's go ahead and call. No, but let's go ahead and call somebody out. You know what I mean? Because then that elevates Anthony Edwards, and I'm sure KD's going to try to come bring some of that DC flavor with him. So it's like, again, we're talking about two pros who are like, okay, I'm not going to let you line me up. Like I may have your sneakers when I was a kid, but I'm still going to come at you until you show me otherwise.
And there's no way, Phoenix is the better basketball team overall than Minnesota. And if they meet in a 7-game series, Phoenix is probably going to win six in a 6-game series. But I guarantee you, in all 6 games, Anthony Edwards is going to go for 25, 5, and 5 in all 6 games.
And he's going to show up to play
every day.
And like I said, I don't have nothing against you being confident, but hey, he called out his name, which is cool. Do your thing. But people got to remember, when you called out LeBron in the past, LeBron came to the court and bust your ass.
Hold on. Anthony Edwards didn't call out LeBron.
No, I'm just giving an example when players try to me, KD's
No,
one.
Then that's
we
not.
talking
That's
about
Let me
talking about two different things,
let
man.
me say like, this one. You not let me. I'm saying people in the past. I remember players you to call LeBron out, talk smack about LeBron, and LeBron played against them, bust their ass. That's what I'm saying about him calling out KD. That's what KD's one of the top players in the NBA. You talking about you better than him. So once you get in the court, he bust your ass. First thing everybody bring back. Oh, you remember when you said that? Because that's what I remember. It was LeBron. That you do bring back.
Okay. All right.
LeBron, bring up.
Everybody, look, Anthony Edwards ain't Lance Stevenson, bro.
He said ain't Lance Stevenson.
It's the truth.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
Lance Stevenson is one of the greatest of all time. So let's
Whoa, wait a minute.
Next segment. Next segment.
Move on, man.
Yeah.
Now we getting off the rails, man.
Hey, don't go at the Lance. You remember he had that good run with Pacers. All right, so
He's
let's
a
go.
good basketball player, but he's not doing what Anthony Edwards was doing.
I know I'm messing with man. I'm joking. Nah.
Okay, see, sometimes you can't play by certain stuff. Now.
Yeah, I was last year. I remember the blow in your ear when he did it to LeBron. That's one
Yeah,
of the
iconic blow.
Yeah, the iconic. So first team, I'm gonna do my first because I know I'm gonna probably get ripped a little bit on mine. So my point guard position. At my point guard position, I got SGA. At my shooting guard, I got Donovan Mitchell. At my small forward, I got Jason Tatum. At power forward, of course, I got Giannis. And at center, I got Joel.
I got Luka, Shai, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic.
I got the only thing different between mine and yours is Curry. Outside of that, we are virtually the same.
Okay. Damn. Anything different?
No, I got the same as you. I got Luka, Shai, Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic.
Okay. So I guess the only difference between is the Curry and the Donovan Mitchell. What made you go with Donovan Mitchell?
No. It also was Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
well, we kind of decipher that. I think everybody can talk upon that when we get to the MVP race.
No, I'm saying you said the only difference. I was saying
I mean, yeah, but I think if we could put Joel and Nikola in first, I think we would be able. We would do
right.
that, but we can't. So
understood. You're right.
Before we actually indulge into our first, let me hear what Joel had to say about everybody picks.
I got nothing wrong with it. I mean, Shai did a very good job. Was he first team? That might be a little stretch, but he played absolutely well. Luka played well this year as well. They just fell apart. Giannis is Giannis, so we got nothing wrong with that. I'm just of the belief though. I could go if I really, really wanted to. I could go Joker, MD, Giannis. Yeah. LeBron, and then I could just throw in whoever else I wanted out of a number of guards there. I could even have LeBron at the one or however I wanted to do it that way. So, but that's the cream of the crop there at the top. And I think when this comes out in the next couple of days, I don't think Luka's going to be first team simply because the Mavs didn't even make the play in. So he might be relegated to the third team or second team because that type of stuff does matter.
Originally I had Luka on my third team, then I just bumped him up to second. I mean, he moved up to second. So you asked me about Donovan. Why I had Donovan on the list?
Yeah, first team.
Because I mean, he kind of turned the Cavaliers season around in a way, even though they still was a good team, and he don't have some outstanding performances. He don't have some clutch moments. So, and then I look at it and I compare them who I had him against. Anthony Edwards. I like Edwards, but I just didn't see that. His team didn't finish as high as the Cavaliers, so that's the reason why. Because it really was a toss-up between them two at that position. And Jaylen Brown, he just had so much talent around him. I mean, I looked at Jaylen Brown he could have been second team. I couldn't see him at first, but I like Donovan Mitchell. I like what he done did. I like the production. I mean, he averaged 28 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He's shooting at 48% field goal percentage. So I mean, man, he doing his thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to have him lower, man.
Let's see, even Tatum. I mean, I hadn't talked about Tatum, so had I sat down and did this first, second, third team, mine would have looked a lot different. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell, though, I mean, think about it. He really brought that leadership. He embraced the role and embraced the trade to Cleveland, and kind of brought Darius Garland along, and they've got a lot of good pieces there in Cleveland. And then he led by example as well. So Donovan Mitchell had a very, very productive and positive season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of what makes the difference in most with Donovan Mitchell is he definitely led by the example. because Darius Garland was still coming off of a potential All-Star season last year towards the end, but it just, it didn't work out with Cleveland. Plus, they got bumped out the play-in, if I'm not mistaken. So I think with Donovan Mitchell this year, they definitely elevated that as it should have. I mean, if it would have got worse, we would have been having a different conversation.
All right, Alfonso, you got anything you want to say on the first team?
Nah, listen, we're good. We're moving right along. Move this train on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So we're gonna jump to all defensive team, which was where my list at? Okay. This way it got a little tricky at. Because I think when I say my list, I think people say I bias on my list, but
You biased.
Well,
I can already hear it in your breath.
right,
Yep,
right.
yeah, I already know it. I already know it.
Go ahead.
You
Hey,
done put
Drew-
so
hey,
much
hold on,
shit
hold on.
in
I
the
got
Denver
you.
so
Drew
far, bro.
Holiday.
I just really
It's gonna
can't
be
even.
Drew
hold on.
Holiday,
Let me say
Giannis, Brook Lopez.
my list. Let me say my damn list. God damn. It's DT show. Let me say my list. Okay. I got it to run Drew. Of course. I mean, Drew, come on. One of the most underrated defensive guards in the league.
Who?
Desmond Bain at the 2.
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday. Desmond Bain. DeMar DeRozan. Giannis. And Brooke. That's my all defensive team.
Nah, see, okay. Let me
Wait, Joe, hold on.
Let everybody get through their
Hold
list.
up, Joe.
Everybody get to their list first. Dan, what you got?
I have Drew Holiday. I'm still going Marcus Smart at the 2. I'm going Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm going Bam Adebayo, and then I'm gonna go Brook Lopez.
Yo, what were you watching me write my list?
Nah.
It's daggone near verbatim, so ditto. That's all I'm gonna say is ditto.
Okay, you want to go? You want me to go?
You go. I don't think Joe will go.
Joe going to just criticize here in a minute.
Yeah, I got Drew Holiday.
Go ahead.
Okay. I got Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart, Giannis, Jaren Jackson Jr. And it was a toss-up between Claxton and Bam for me. But I got Claxton.
Okay.
So go ahead, Joe.
Let's go, Joel.
Can I talk about how you don't have Jaren Jackson Jr.?
I had Jaren Jackson. Oh,
No, I'm talking about DT.
The reason why I don't have Jared Jackson, you want to talk why? Because I don't. He's not on my list.
Make it make sense.
He would be on my second team. He's not on my. We did second team because they got a second team. I didn't do second team. I just did first team. He'd been on my second team. He would be on my first.
You do realize he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
No. I guarantee he's not. I could bet he's not. We could bet money on it. He's not.
Okay, we got a little wager.
You want to bet?
What's the
Let
wager?
me tell you something about Jaren Jackson Jr. and why he's going to win it.
Hold. I'm the true Memphis fan over here. Let me go ahead and bow this down to you.
Wait, we can't. We gonna talk about defensive players until we get to that.
I forgot we got a segment for that.
Hold on, but Jaren Jackson Jr. overall body of work, the next closest person is probably Brook Lopez. Evan Mobley has done a wonderful job at the guard spot with his defensive effort. Nick Claxton, who knew when he left Georgia he was going to turn into this type of player, but he learned what was sticking in the NBA. And then Bam has done pretty good. One of those 5 are going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Jaren Jackson Jr. So to say he's not on the DT All-Defensive team, where's the substance in why he's not going to be there when he's impacted the game defensively for Memphis 95% of the season?
He has did that, but Brooke is rated higher than him on the defensive scale. Desmond Bain is ranked higher than him on the defensive scale.
Desmond Bain's defense is good is because of Jaren Jackson, and Brook Lopez's defense is very good just because he's now gone from being a back to the basket guy to a 3-and-D guy. So defensive rating, that is good, but what is the defensive rating? Does it say for overall impact of the game? There isn't one.
Hold on. Brook Lopez has been leading the league this season in defensive as a defensive player. I'm not knocking Jared because Jared, they've been up there 1 and 2. They've been not going back and forth this whole season as who go win the defensive player of the year. But I'm not gonna put him above Giannis. And I'm not gonna put him above DeMar DeRozan. That's just my take on it. I think they're better defensive players. I think he's great, but the only issue I'm gonna tell you, Jared Jackson Jr. out of this, he stays in foul trouble. He always in foul trouble. That's the issue. That's what's going to be Memphis' downfall. His foul trouble.
Well, no, he's going to be in foul trouble.
Hold on. Brooke doesn't stay in foul trouble. DeMar DeRozan doesn't stay in foul trouble. Giannis doesn't stay in foul trouble. I'm talking about the forwards in the center right now. Jared Jackson Jr. stays in foul trouble. And without them having Steven Adams to help because he's in foul trouble, it could be a downfall for the Memphis Grizzlies. So that's my issue with Jared Jackson. He's a great defensive player. He's been blocking shot. He leads the league in block shots, but he always say he makes dumb decisions. And issue is he chases a lot of the blocks, which puts him in foul. If you watch him play, he chases a lot of blocks, which may turn into a foul that puts him on the bench, that puts Memphis at a disadvantage.
I have one question, not about them. So
ahead.
what's your take on DeMar DeRozan, DT?
I always been a fan of DeMar DeRozan.
You're a Bulls fan.
No, I'm not a Bulls fan. I'm not a Bulls fan, but I'm a Jordan fan, but I'm not a Bulls fan. But I like DeMar DeRozan defensive presence on the court. He always liked them since Toronto days, and to me, he really haven't let up on the defense. Like some players, when they get older, they kind of step back. He still played great defense, and I mean, he's number 16 overall in defensive ratings, but still, that's pretty high for his age in this league win right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, me personally, I don't really have too many issues besides the Jaren Jackson because I'm like, yeah, I get his situation of getting foul trouble, but how did he make the All-Star if he's not really impacting the game? That much?
Yeah, I can't.
It's not offensively.
I didn't say he didn't impact the game. I said he would have been on my second team. He just
No, I'm saying no, not impacting the game defensively because offensively, that's not the reason why he's been. Now he's had some good games. Like even recently, he just put up a 30-point game, which I think I get. But like the man's averaging almost 2 to 3 blocks per game within the past 2 months since his injury, and he's only fouled out two games this entire season. So how much foul trouble is he really? He may be foul trouble for the first quarter, but he's only fouled out.
He's going to put y'all. He's going to put Memphis in a foul trouble issue because Steven Adams out the rest of the season. So y'all don't.
But
really
but you got to think Steven Adams not a defensive player. Steven Adams. The only reason Steven Adams was on the team was because he's a great pick and roll guy. He's arguably one of the best pick and roll big men in the league, and that's why we've seen so much from Russ have an exceeding, thing in OKC that now Memphis, Ja Morant has learned to use that pick and roll system to just dominate his game to be able to get to those back cuts or you get those driving to be able to get those drives to dunk the ball.
Regardless of Steven Adams is a great defense player. That's still a body y'all missing. That if Jared get in foul trouble, now y'all gonna go to someone who's not as strong. Who's the other backup?
Santiago Aldama, who's actually who can stretch the floor. Solid. He can stretch the floor, so it's like we don't really need to pick and roll. We can run 5 out as we've been doing.
Okay.
And they still have Brandon Clark. And
we still have Brandon Clark, even though he's a little bit undersized, but he still can move just as fast as almost any other big. Actually, faster than any bigs, and can jump with him.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't had Steven Adams in 2 months? It's 2 months since the beginning of the season.
I think Steven Adams not being there is going to be a factor.
Yeah,
just because of experience and playoff and playoff depth. But Jaren Jackson in foul trouble. Look, he only averaged 3.6 fouls per game this season. That's right around normal. Memphis got other problems that is why I don't think they will go as far as they think they will. But overall, though, Jaren Jackson defensively, man, it's hard to go against him.
Okay. Like I said, he'd be on my second team. He's just not on my all defensive team, my first team. Alfonso, you being quiet. Anything you want to say on this?
Listen, I'm a defensive guy, so this is the area that I enjoy. I'm just trying to understand. Everything everyone said about Jaren Jackson is spot on, which is why I don't understand, and I still don't understand, even though you explained it. I still don't understand why JJ's not in there. You know what I mean? But it's everyone's opinion. So
you can only put 5 players on your paper. I can't add 6.
I know that. I know that. That's what I'm saying. That's your opinion.
I think Jared Jackson's great. I just don't have him on my all new because if I'm gonna go pick my 5 defense, I'm gonna pick these guys. These guys I'm gonna pick. And then Jared Jackson plays the 4 position, so he basically a 4. I'm not gonna put him over Giannis. I'm not when it comes to defense because Giannis don't won the award multiple times and stuff like that. Not gonna put him over Giannis. I think Giannis could guard, defend on the perimeter and inside the paint. I can't say Jared can't, but when I come by between them two, I think Giannis make a bigger impact on the court than Jared.
Oh, I'll give you that. But, all right, what's next then?
Okay, so we could move on to that. Yeah, that was a great discussion on that one. And y'all beat me up for Jared Jackson Jr. Okay, cool. So let's jump over to the
No,
individual.
you
No,
you beat yourself up. We didn't do
No, I,
nothing.
Yeah, because when you win the defensive award, I'm gonna send it to you.
He's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year this year.
He's gonna win it. Like,
even if you put your money on it, the odds on it, you're not gonna win much money because even everyone has him as Defensive Player.
oh no. If he
No,
paid
no,
me
no,
straight up, I'm gonna get the
No, the odds still do
No,
have
I'm
Brook
saying the
Lopez above
odds
him.
on. So if you bet
I'm
the
gonna
odds
tell
on
y'all
him,
this. I'm gonna tell y'all this. As
you
much,
can't win really no money because he's gonna.
I'm hold on, real quick. I got y'all. As much as I probably listen to a lot of the people who voting, the 100 people voting that be on NBA radio talking about their votes, majority of them has said Brook Lopez. So I'm gonna just give y'all here. So majority of people who are voting right now already said they got their votes for Brook Lopez because they have special guests on NBA radio, Sirius XM radio, and I hear a lot of these people who are voting because there's only 100 that vote. And majority of them has said Brook Lopez. So that's the reason why I say y'all sit here and think Jared Jackson's gonna win. I'm letting you know Brook Lopez gonna walk out with that award.
It's a good chance he does.
We'll see.
DT.
What?
It's something called sleight of hand.
Okay, yeah, sliding.
Not
hand.
only that, I don't trust him because they said the same thing about Ben Carroll, how he wasn't gonna go number one, and it was all gonna be on Jabari Smith. And then they didn't even have a workout, and they still picked Ben Carroll.
That's another conversation, man. That's another conversation.
We got this on working.
See, I'm not imitating some of these writers that can't make a layup. So
He ain't never lied.
Exactly.
So let's go. Let's jump to this. I got a question real quick before we jump over to the second segment. Do y'all agree with the league going to positionless all NBA teams?
Yeah, I think they should.
Yeah.
It's top. It
Joe-
should be top 5 best players.
Look, JHillsman's already done it. So it's like the NBA. He's doing it right now. He's doing it right now. So let's go ahead.
He already did.
No. I'm not a fan of it.
I like the structure of 5-4-3-2-1 or center, power forward, small forward, shooting guard, and a point guard. I like that structure. But let's think about it. When we playing pickup ball, I can't pick him because he's a shooting guard, or I can't. No. Positionless basketball is you still have your front court and your back court. And as Fonzo will tell you, now we call people wings.
Mm-hmm.
So is he a wing guard, or is he a wing forward, or is he just somebody that plays on the wing? And I think positionless sometimes you still have to have a point guard. You still have to have someone that can engineer the offense and the offensive set. But because of the versatility and the lack of development in America of the big men, now we just want to get lazy and say, okay, we're going to go play 5 out or 4 out. And if we get a big, then that's fine, because we don't know how to teach a big this, and we don't know how to teach our point guards how to feed the post with the left or the right hand feed. So we're just going to go positionless. But at the end of the day, give me the 5 best players. But I guarantee you, when you still pick the 5 best players, you're still going to be looking for front court, back court, who can shoot, who can score, who can defend, who can rebound, who can outlet. You're still going to be looking for things that are needed in traditional center, power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard.
Yeah.
Because the shooting guard used to be what? The off guard. Now the off guard is a wing guard. The small forward used to be what? A wing forward. What was Scottie Pippen? He was a point forward, but was he really a 3? Anthony Mason was a point forward, but was he really a 4? Charles Barkley was a 4, but maybe played like a 3. So that's kind of always been there. And I just think it's people that can't make layups that just now they want to find ways to be able to slide and do different things. Positionless, okay, we're just going to take the top 5. All right, got it. Well, you can take the top 5 Americans and the top 5 international players. There's going to be some difference there of who can handle the ball and who cannot. As great as the dream team was, they only had one true point guard. We all know that was John Stockton. So everybody else just kind of found their way. So positionless basketball been outside of Magic. Let me not disrespect Magic.
I was about to just say something about that.
but height wise, because he's not supposed to be 6'9", a point guard, he got to be a 4. Well, no, he was there. So positionless basketball has always kind of been there. The 5 best players.
I'm gonna say this. I could say instead of saying positionless, I would say at least 2 guards and 3 forward/centers. At
Let's
least you
go
could give.
front court, back court.
But no, you could do that. Front court, back court. Because I feel like if you want, because the issue I hear, one reason they change, because the Joker and MB, one got to be first team, one got to be second team. They want both in the first team. Well, because basically, from what I understand, they want Giannis, Jokic, and MB all in the first team.
And why would you not? Why would you not?
I'm agree with you. I agree with you. So that's why I said it should be 2 guards and 3.
But see, here's my thing. Who's defining the position? Because if I want to say, all right, I'm gonna put Embiid at the 4, Joker at the 5, Embiid at the 5, Joker at the 4, Giannis at the 3. I'm defining that position. Now, who my 2 and my 1?
Yeah, I think to be honest though, I'm gonna be honest. Since LeBron has came in the league, they should have got rid of it. Because when LeBron came in the league, he could play 1 through 5. It did not matter. If you put him with a small team, he could play the 5 and dish it out as a point guard.
Hold on.
Really didn't that matter.
Hold on. Magic Johnson played 1 through 5, bro.
And that's another one though. It's just
it can't be
but the difference is though, there was no other Magic. Magic was the only one during that time that was actually that efficient at passing the ball and was actually considered that point guard at that size. There wasn't another player since then until LeBron came. Then he's able to pass like Magic, score like Jordan, assist like, well, I guess assist and pass like Magic, but it could do almost everything that all these other players that were in the positions that could do. Now we're looking at an era where there can be there's the sixth average guard now is like 6'3", 6'4", and it's going to move up to 6'5", 6'9". You got Ben Carroll, 6'8", 6'9". Ben Simmons was 6'10", 6'10". You got all these other guards that are getting so big, they're the same size as these other big men that they may not be truly big men. They may not be truly small forwards. So it's like the position, it depends on who's rating this because it's not consistent.
Who's developing them? Developing them? Because you could, like we said, with the element with Charles Barkley. Okay, Kevin Durant, 7 feet. Is he a center? No, he's not a center.
No.
Kevin Garnett was 6'11". Was he a center or was he a power forward?
Exactly.
Steph Curry is 6'3". Is he a point guard or a shooting guard?
And he plays off ball like he's the best off ball player there is. So that's
question. Would you ever let it be defined by what they can guard?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because my coach, I don't know if y'all know who Jerry Dunn is, but he was my college coach, and he said because he coached the NBA, he said it's not they're defined by who they can guard. So if you can guard a 2, you can play the 2.
Yep.
You can guard the 3, you can play the 3. So
I've never seen Durant guard a 4 or 5.
Correct.
Exactly. So he's like, my coach said it's by who you can defend. If you can defend it, you can call yourself that.
Yep.
And that is 100% correct. It'll be interesting to see how the positionless All NBA team goes now, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, Jason Tatum ain't better than Giannis. It should have been Giannis, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Jokic. If we're just gonna keep it a honest buck.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about it, yes.
Yeah, it should have been. So
I just only thing I say is it's happening. I'm not a real big fan of it because I hate that they even changed it when it came to the All-Star in a way. I hated that they did that, but now they're doing it this way. It is what it is. I just don't think I hate when people say, "Oh, every player go on guard, they can play every position on the court." That's when I said on my show earlier today. I said I ain't never seen Klay Thompson on defender on 5 or 4. I ain't never seen him.
So you gotta understand some of that is just lazy journalism work.
Yeah.
But just go front court, back court, and I think you'd be okay.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so we jump on to the second segment of the show. We're talking about individuals awards. Looking forward to this one. Definitely looking forward to this. We're gonna jump on to Rookie of the Year, and we're gonna pick out. What we're doing is naming our top 3 from 3 to 2 to 1. So I'm gonna let KDH be the first to talk about his Rookie of the Year.
Real quick. You said 3 to 2 to 1.
Yeah, we'll talk about 3, then we'll talk about 2, then we'll talk about 1.
Okay.
For 3, I got Jalen Williams. Per se, I think for the OKC, he's been that guy that I don't think no one even talked about, no one even thought about. He just came out the scenes and came out to play with alongside of Shai and Josh Giddey. Because they really don't have anybody else between those two. That's only Jalen Williams that I think is really stepping up between there, especially with the missing of Chet Holmgren. If they added him, then we may be having a different conversation. But Jalen Williams is help them progress to where because that team is basically the same as it was last year, minus one or two players. Jalen Williams has actually pushed it up there to where I think they can actually make a run in the play-in and maybe actually get it to the playoffs, even though they barely made it. Let's not forget they beat Boston 3 times in a row. And I want to say almost every time they beat them by almost 15 points. So I'm like, I think that team has something going for him. I think Jalen Williams was a big help on that, and he's averaging about 15, 16, except for that second half month, he was averaging almost 20.
All right, Alfonso, your number 3 pick on Rookie of the Year. Who you had number 3?
Walker Kessler.
Okay.
Simple. I mean, he was productive. He came in and went to a new situation that benefited him. All right, and was able to be an impactful player throughout the year. Winning a few NBA Player of the Week awards and things of that nature. So, he Rookie of the Week awards, or month awards. So either way, he's certainly had a solid year.
All right, Roach, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Benedict Mathurin.
Okay, and why?
I mean, he came in, I'm not going to hold you, he was giving people straight buckets. Off the bench, averaging 16 for the entire season is, for a rookie, is very tough. He's out there handling business. I mean, I don't think anybody thought he was going to come in and do that. So, I mean, it's hard to argue 16 points coming off the bench as a rookie.
All right.
True story.
Okay. Mine's ditto right behind Alfonso. I had Walker as well. Everything he said about him coming to a new situation, doing what he's doing, playing the way he played. I enjoyed watching him the few times I did watch the Jazz. I mean, I ain't watching much because, there was other games better on. Well, I watched them at the beginning of the season, and when they just started, going down, just other games on. I had to watch everybody. I try to watch all teams, but I seen a few games, and I definitely agree. He's number 3 on my list. Did you do a list on rookie?
Oh yeah.
Number 3.
I got that. I mean, name me the rookie that had 20 double-doubles this season.
Jabari Smith.
For your number 3?
For your number 3?
Yeah, name the rookie that had 20 double-doubles this season.
There's only 2, I think, and I think Paolo and Jabari.
There's only one. There's only one rookie that's got 20 or more double-doubles this season.
It's either Jabari or it's either Paolo. I haven't checked.
It might be Walker Kessler. It's Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler.
Because Walker Kessler averaged 9 and almost.
I mean, yeah. My only problem with Walker Kessler really didn't develop to the second half off the All-Star. Outside of that, he didn't even get the minutes to develop in the first half to really be considered 3 for me. That's just me.
Here's the thing with Walker Kessler, and this is the thing I think you guys sometimes you have to see with it, and we're gonna go 3, 2, 1. I went Jalen Williams as the 2 simply because OKC is in playoff contention. And then number 1 is Pablo, just because of what he was able to do and everything. But the reason why I still think Walker Kessler is probably that number 3. Look at the situation. He got traded. Okay. Then he got traded actually to a better situation. And then once they were able to filter out how they were going to do things and work it, okay, fine. Once the trade of Conley left, it opened up some other things where he now physically had to do things. And I just think he's just going to develop and be a better player. And it's actually in a perfect situation with Utah. And he really came on. And sometimes as a rookie, I want to see you getting better in the second half of the season versus the first half, because the scouting reports get tougher and tougher as the season goes.
All right.
You're right.
And my number 2, I had Jaden Ivory.
I second that.
Interesting. I went with Jalen Williams off to the points of what Joe mentioned, because, again, he did better than what I had initially thought he would possibly do, and came in, and it looks like the old OKC squad is getting a bunch of babies together and playing and being competitive. So, and then I went with with him as a selection. I just had to make sure I was picking the right Jalen Williams.
Okay.
I had Jalen too myself.
You had Jalen, okay. And who you had at 2, Joe?
He said Jalen Williams.
Oh, Jalen, okay. All right, I think everybody got number one the same. I don't think number one is the same across the board.
He's been my number one since I saw him down at
That's a grown man.
yeah.
That's a grown man.
He was a grown man in high school.
Yes. Since I've seen him in high school, he's been my rookie of the year.
Plus, he averages the most. He does the most. I don't think there's no question with that.
I want to.
That's not a rookie.
I think real quick, I just want to throw this out real quick. I think somebody on this show need to reflect on our show from last year when I said there was a great pick for Orlando, and somebody told me no, this wasn't a great pick. Somebody's picture next to mine, video next to. Oh yeah, it was you. It's on. Yes, somebody told me that Orlando pick was not a good pick. Pablo was not a good pick. We did a show about this. Remember, did a show about the draft last year, and said it wasn't.
I said they should have picked him.
No, we'll pull up the show.
I could have sworn he said Jabari wasn't a good pick for them.
I said Jabari wasn't.
We'll go back and check.
Because I have it on record before that draft even happened, a month before. I said, if Orlando does not pick up Paolo, then they're stupid.
It could have been you, but somebody, I don't know if it could have been a guest I had on the show, but somebody told me there was a bad pick for them. I thought it was you. But somebody said it was a bad pick. I said it was a great pick. And it's that
I
was
got receipts, my boy.
Because if they would pick Jabari, they already had enough power forwards and centers. So I mean, like
they needed a six. I said the league can't guard 6'9" point guards. They needed him. And we see it. They look a lot better.
Any point guard at 6'6" or bigger, they struggle.
The league struggles with guarding.
I'm gonna definitely go back and check that on show because I know when I seen this, I was like, he been killing us. I said, I remember I gotta listen to that show, but I was told it was a bad pick for Orlando. And I thought it was a great pick. Okay, let's move on to sixth man of the year because this is where it got really complicated trying to pick out who was the sixth man. And I know it's been a lot of
because a lot of the 6 men started a lot of games.
Yeah. Because originally I thought it was gonna be Russ, but then
and then they said he didn't qualify. I think you can't start half more than. I forgot more than
he started like 20-some games with Clippers.
Yeah, I think you have to. If what's the rule that it has to be less than 20% of 20 or 30% of the season, you cannot start something like that. I know it's a rule behind, but everybody I got on my list is never. I haven't started as much, so I'm gonna start out with my number 3, and this is the person with the lowest. I said I only had one player that I made my team that didn't play as many games. He only played 59 games, and I have him as my sixth man. Is Norman Paul.
I like it.
Who you got number 3, Chris?
I have Austin Reeves.
What about you, Alfonso?
I got Tyrese Maxey.
He doesn't qualify, I don't think, because he played 40. He started 40 games. He only played 60. Yeah, I had him in there. I had him in there too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Joel, who you had?
Then move on.
Laugh.
Austin Reeves.
Awesome. Yeah. Daniel.
Bobby Portis.
Ew. Ew.
14 and 10 off the bench.
No. I just thought
played his role very well.
I made that pick because you had him so low. That's the reason why I did it.
Oh,
but the reason why I had Norman Powell at number 3 because the impact he brings to the Clippers off the bench, the way he scored, the way he shoots threes, the average 16.8. I mean, he's not really big on rebound because he's not shoot outside the perimeter and get back to defense. He's shooting at 47%. Man, without him on the Clippers, they wouldn't be doing nothing right now. They luckily because they lost Paul George. I mean, you can't. He's not gonna make up for Paul George production, but him coming out the bench, he kind of give them that somewhat hope that they could probably get past the Phoenix Suns in the first round. But I just think the way he impacts the game, especially for the Clippers and how deep the bench is, how deep they are, it's a lot of potential right now. And that's why I put Norman. I think he definitely should be in talks. He's not going to win it. He's not going to win it. He should be in talks. He should be in the conversation, but he's not going. We know he's not going to win it.
I can't see nobody doing better than Hillbilly Kobe at that 3 right there. I'm sorry, Austin Reeves, that boy, especially after this past 2 months, that man has single-handedly helped the Lakers get to where they need to be, and that's 7 seed. So I mean, that's just me personally.
Gotcha.
The Hillbilly Kobe is for me, baby.
Hillbilly Kobe. That's what I got. Hillbilly Kobe.
Okay, so at number 2, I got Malcolm Brogdon.
All right, that's what I got.
Okay.
Me too.
That's what I got.
I went with quickly. Tell me he doesn't have the minutes. Emmanuel quickly.
He's good.
All right.
I'll be honest. I got him as my number one. So
Yeah, I got quickly as number one.
Who you got at number 2, Joe?
I did it all wrong. I just gave you who I had. I like Reeves, but
Okay.
I think quickly, and then I had Maxie in there as well. But I forgot to look up my login and working on the games played for 6-man.
yeah,
but,
it's that qualifications, man.
Yeah.
I got Bobby at number 1 because I mean,
Who?
off the bench, Bobby Porter. Off the bench.
Bobby
Yeah,
Brown.
Bobby Portis is tough, man. I like Bobby Portis, and he's earned his weight and did everything he's been asked to do for Coach Budenholzer, who's been able to hold him accountable for everything and make him a better player.
And then he averaged the most double-doubles off the bench. He got the most actually this season off the bench as a player. I think he got 23, 24, somewhere around there last time I counted. But yeah, they did say he had the most double-doubles come out the bench. He averaging 14 points, 9 rebounds. So he's almost averaging a double-double. I mean, he could start on any other team, and he chose to stay in Milwaukee and come out the bench. And that's a big pill to swallow right there, especially as good as he been playing for him to come out the bench. But man, killing them when he get in the game. There been a couple of times I wanted to throw my shoe at the TV because he had a couple of bad games. But other than that, I wouldn't trade him, even though I'd be sometimes like, God, we should got rid of him. But I just say that out of frustration.
And my number one is Malcolm Brogdon.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's arguable.
Absolutely.
Why you got Malcolm there?
He's
It's Malcolm.
Point guard. That's a starting point guard.
Huh?
Malcolm Brogdon is a starting point guard.
He should be. I mean, but it's not. I don't make that rule.
Is he on a 1-year deal, or he got another year with them?
I think he's on 1 year.
Actually,
No, he signed a 3-year deal.
He signed a deal. Yeah, he signed a 3-year deal.
And I'm about to say, if he on 1 year, you think he's coming back?
They got him for a second-round pick. That is the biggest trade. Why?
Malcolm Brogdon, who went over Pacers, was averaging 18 points, 6 assists,
almost a
and
walking triple-double.
like five rebounds.
Almost a walking triple-double in any game that mattered. You give him up for a second-round pick, bro.
You got to give to get. You got to give to get.
Nah, he's worth the first-round pick, not a second-round pick.
Let's move on to most improved player. And we're going to go and name our top 3, then we'll have a discussion there going one by one. I'm going to go first. And number 3, I had Shea, SGA. And number 2, I got Lauri Markkanen. And at number 1, I got Jalen Brunson.
I want to reverse. I want to reverse order.
The only reason I have to put him there is because Lauri Markkanen is not most improved to me. He's most improved to some others. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is who I give it to.
Okay.
I just went your order, but in reverse.
Okay.
With Shea being 1, Brunson being 3, Markkanen being 2.
Okay. KDH?
I got McHale, Shea, Lauri. Lauri, I think is the most improved. I mean, for personally.
Roach?
Yeah, I have Shea, Brunson, and then Lauri. I knew Lauri was a problem ever since the Bulls. They just didn't give enough tick, and like you saying earlier, they went to Cleveland.
For the Bulls, it was injury.
I'm saying,
that's the Bulls front office.
Even then he went to Cleveland. I seen him doing damage, but they were so deep that he just never got to shine. And now he got time to shine and be that man. Yeah, he got the dog in him. So I got Lauri at 1.
Any other debate? Anybody else want to chime in?
I see how it's a hard debate when the man Lauri averaged 15 last year, and then 25 the very next year. Like it's a hard debate.
Shea had averaged 24 and went to 31. So
yeah. So it's one of the two.
All right, we move on to the one that I said was pretty hard for me, but I got it done. Clutch Player of the Year, which is a new award. This is the first year they're doing Clutch Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Now make sure you define clutch now.
We all should know what clutch means. Come on.
What is it? There might be someone in the audience who doesn't know what clutch
Okay,
means.
clutch player, the person who you could count on to get that bucket for you to pull out to win the game, or tie the game up to go to overtime, or win in overtime. It's like winning at the last moment. That person, you could put the ball in the hand and you know they're gonna get you a bucket. That's how
I feel like you can define it as the game.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I was saying, I feel like you don't have to necessarily define it as a bucket, but I feel like you can define it as making the game
winning decision. Yeah,
or decisions.
A decision. Yeah, concur.
Okay, so you know how it's defined by the NBA, though, right?
What's that?
Okay, it only counts as clutch is if it's in the final 5 minutes and the game is decided by 5 points or fewer. That counts as clutch.
Well, the 3 people I got fits that group.
Oh yeah, no,
Dame Lillard is the clutch guy to me. So
okay, so my 3 is I got in 3. Number 3 is SGA. Number 2, De'Aaron Fox, and number 1, Donovan Mitchell.
I like that. I would go Dame, Mitchell, and De'Aaron Fox, but right now Dame just is all kind of clutch. He leads the league in all the clutch numbers, and I think Donovan Fox is right there second in clutch numbers. But remember, clutch numbers only count at the 5-minute mark, and the game is within 5 or less.
So, question: how do y'all not have?
I don't hear everybody's list first.
I'll give you my list.
Go ahead.
Damon Lillard, Dame Time, and Lily Pad, baby. Because that's all.
Since you just defined that, I'm gonna swap my list around just to reassure this. Because
I mean that's what is being defined. That's what it's defined as.
So I definitely understand that. So how do none of y'all have?
Wait, Chris has said his. Everybody ain't said that yet. KDH, go ahead.
I know you weren't going to say Kyrie Irving.
He averages the most points in the fourth quarter.
But is it in the last 5 minutes of a game?
Yes.
So last 5 minutes, he's averaged the most.
If that's the case, why they the 11th seed?
Because they have no defense. I can tell you that.
But did he play 5 minutes of 5 games this year?
Yes.
No,
You forget even with Dallas, Luka only played 6 minutes out of the fourth quarter about 17 times since Kyrie's been there.
Dallas
they had
was
questions.
4-12 with Kyrie Irving this year.
What does that have to do with being clutch? He's still scoring the most points within the last 5 minutes of the game.
It's not even close. Bro,
if you're down and you're up and you bring the game close, but your team doesn't win it because you don't have the supporting squad to hit it, to play the defensive side, you're clutch. You just can't, you're hitting the baskets to make your team be able to.
Clutch means to win. That's not clutch.
Okay, so are we designing clutch as not only 5 minutes, but you also have to win the game? Because if that's the case, there's a lot of people. Dame should not be on that list because he ain't won a lot of games either.
The NBA defines clutch as the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
When you get to the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, if it is a 5-point game, those final 5 minutes count as clutch.
Yeah,
Kyrie Irving, bro.
So I give it to Kyrie then.
Kyrie's
number one. He averages 12 points in the fourth quarter, which is the highest. The second highest is 9 points by Luka Doncic. Outside of that, they're the second highest duo in the entire league of scoring, which makes sense. Number 2, they haven't won that many games, but most of the games that they lost have only been down by 6 to 7 points.
And they both are sitting at home watching the NBA playoffs with
exactly. You're making an argument for somebody that's not even in the playoffs. That's not clutch.
Okay,
Dame's
but
Dame's not playoffs.
Dame's not playoffs. Dame, and he's not even in the
playoffs. Joel never said.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He said Dame.
He did say Dame.
I say Dame, but it's because of his clutch numbers. I don't know.
That doesn't matter if he's not.
His clutch numbers are way better.
If you said last 5 minutes and you said they're 11th seed, then you cannot give it to Dame, who's in 13th seed, who has not won either.
I'm not going by fourth quarter numbers. I'm going by the clutch numbers.
That's the last 5 minutes.
I'm going based off the 5 minutes. I didn't say last fourth quarter. Kyrie owns that, but the last 5 minutes, he still owns that. But he's not winning, but he's able to get his team to a chance to win. But they lost all the games by 2 to 3 points, especially since he's been traded to Dallas. Now, if we go over to Brooklyn, it was Dame because Kyrie, it was KD that was leading it because he was winning the 5th. But once he went to Dallas, Kyrie was number 1 with 12. He just had 19 points in the fourth quarter 4 games ago when they could have won.
Had 2 points at half and finished the game with 31?
He finished the points with 31, and he had scored 19 in the fourth quarter. And in the last 5 minutes, he scored 8.
Okay. we got this. We hear this. It
Got
can go
it.
back and forth. We can have this debate all day. We will find out when we see the list of who makes it. So
They're gonna.
I'm just saying when it drops and we see certain people, I don't know, we're gonna come back, we're gonna reflect back on this broadcast when we did the show.
I say they won't give it to Kyrie just because of games. They're still probably gonna give it to De'Aaron Fox.
I mean, yeah, he's still number one too.
De'Aaron Fox is there.
His mid-range game in the fourth quarter is just
It's gonna. I think it's gonna come down to Fox or Lillard. One of those two are gonna get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had Lillard on there too, so yeah, it's so simple.
Cool. All right, so moving on. Fonzo, you got anything you want to chime in on this?
Is
Before we
Dame
move
Lillard
on?
still on the list? I mean, I don't give a
He's on
damn what
everybody's
y'all
list.
arguing about.
He's on everybody's list.
He's on everybody's list. He's on everybody's
Yeah,
list.
okay, I just want to make sure. That's hey, listen. The rest
You know
is
what? I got you.
semantic.
I can actually flip Donovan and De'Aaron around because I had them. I was between them two, and I just what stood out to me the most is a couple of games I watched when Donovan put on a show in the last 5 minutes of the game. So that's why I had him at one. But De'Aaron been killing it, and I remember. You know what? What's funny is this is a real quick story. It was maybe like the year when De'Aaron Fox came into the league. And it was one of these kids. I was working out. I was weight training at the gym, and he played for AAU team. And we made a bet. I said he was a Lonzo Ball fan, and I like De'Aaron Fox. And I told him, I said, if De'Aaron Fox have a better career than Lonzo Ball, I said he was like an A grade. I said, you got to play on my AAU team. I told him that because he's a good player. Well, De'Aaron Fox lately, the last few years, have kicked Lonzo Ball, but nah, he graduated. He actually graduated this year. He actually played for Mount Pisgah too. He played for them this past year. But yeah, it was just funny. I went every time I was looking. Huh?
You talking about Michael Tucker?
No, what the kid who had blonde hair? He had long blonde hair. He went to Peachtree Ridge and he transferred. He had the big hair blonde. It was blonde. He played for Mount Pisgah. He had black kid, had blonde hair, went to Peachtree Ridge and transferred over to Mount
You
Pisgah.
just can't name his name.
I forgot his name. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't call it either.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Coach of the Year. So
I think everybody got the same on that.
I think we all have the same top three, to be honest. At number 3, I got Joe Mazzulla because I was surprised that Boston was going to keep playing at the level they playing after the whole fiasco at the beginning of the season. Number 2, I got Tom Thibodeau, and number 1, I got Mike Brown.
Then my list is gonna be controversial.
Oh Lord, don't have Mike Budenholzer and Doc Rivers in your list.
No,
Okay.
I have Mike Brown as the coach of the year. I have Joe Mazzulla, but I'm gonna give it to Darwin Ham.
Why? Because it's Easter. Well, I got a question. Are you going to give it to him because it's Easter and that's what everybody had for dinner? You know what I mean? Or is it because because I'm not? Let me go ahead and Mike Brown,
Hold on.
Jacques Vaughn.
Okay.
All right, to keep that ship together.
Jacques
Vaughn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and I can never pronounce his name, so I'm just going to say the Celtics coach.
Joe
Joe
Yeah, Joe
Mazzulla.
Mazzulla, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they both had to, the last two had to keep crap together.
Joe, who you at?
Mike Brown, coach of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the other two? I know you got Tom on your list.
Absolutely, Tom Thibodeau, and you put him wherever you want. And then,
Durham Ham for you too.
what?
I'm gonna go controversial with Darwin Ham.
No, I'm gonna actually the other one is you joked on him just now, but I'm gonna put his name in the conversation and then you'll know why. But I don't know why Doc gets this bad rap. So
Oh no, he can't finish the series to save his life.
I will argue that one.
Hey, hold on.
24/7, but go ahead.
Hold
I
on,
want to
let
hear
me-
this one.
Hold on.
Let me ask you a question though.
Hold on.
Let me ask you a question.
Let KDH say his, then you can ask the question. KDH,
I
tell
just
me your
want-
top 3. Then you got the question.
Yeah, I got Mike Brown winning coach of the year. I got Joe Mazzulla number 2, and I got Mark Diagno for the OKC Thunder coach because he's been somehow really good for the past 3 years, and this year he's actually in there.
I'm gonna tell you a question, but go ahead. I got something to say on that. But go ahead, Joe. You had a question to him.
I'll just be honest, since this is DT's Unfiltered and Uncensored. Good job, Joe Mazzulla, but Damon Stoudemire could have did just as good a job. So, yeah, no love for me from Missoula. But anyway, Doc Rivers has won a championship as a coach, guys. So don't say he can't close series.
Okay.
Did you not see what Doc has done?
Oh
after
no.
that?
Let him finish. I gotta hear this all because
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's
it. You want to blame 3-1 when he was in Orlando? Blame Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady the one said the series was over. Not Doc Rivers.
Clippers.
It's the Clippers.
No, that's 2 times.
That's just the Clippers. What have the Clippers done? So Ty Lue has done a better job with the Clippers than Doc Rivers did.
I'm gonna let you finish first.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you have.
Okay. Starting off, even with the whole Trace McGrady, you had 2 superstars at the end of the day you still didn't do nothing with. Then we're gonna go to Boston where you had 4 All-Stars, potential 5 Hall of Fames. As you're supposed to win that. Any coach that has 4 All-Stars, Hall of Fame, you're supposed to win that. I'm not giving you no bonus on winning when you have 4 All-Stars and 5 Hall of Fames and 1 Defensive Player of the Year that has won that 3 times. Not giving you that. Then you go to
Phil Jackson, not a good coach.
No, Phil Jackson has won it and has proved it with different players. At least he's built a team. When he had Kobe was traded to him. He was drafted by the Hornets, traded to the Lakers, and he was able to fulfill the destiny. Now, the difference is, though, he had the help of not only the players, but he had the help of the coaches. And we can also see that without Phil Jackson, they weren't able to win. The difference between Boston is you gave away all your assets as soon as he leaves, you give all your assets to the Nets. Now Boston has to restructure. Boston you didn't leave none of the players.
That was Danny Ainge's decision.
I understand that. No, I'm saying from the coach's position though. At that point, you had 4 All-Stars and 5 potential Hall of Fames, and also a Defensive Player of the Year. How do you not win with that? Your biggest competition was a LeBron James.
LeBron James.
How can you not win with 4 All-Stars, potential 5 Hall of Fames, and 2 a defensive player who won 3 times? How can you not win that?
How many times LeBron James been to the finals?
10.
So my thing, you keep saying he had this, he had that. Dude, it's not easy to win in the NBA.
I'm not saying it's easy, but when you
name
me another. Besides the Bulls, name me another team that has won it. The only other team that we can sit there and say that had 4 potential All-Stars, Miami. And I'm not gonna say it's not even Miami because Miami had 2.
Golden State.
2. Chris Paul is Golden State Warriors. They had Steph, Clay, Draymond, and KD. That was the only 4 that you could say that had 4 All-Stars, and they won a dynasty. Outside of that, there's no other team that has had 4 All-Stars like that. So then you go to the Clippers and you pick up Kawhi, you pick up Paul George, you picked up
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie. No,
they had Robert Covington.
But you had 2. You swear you had all this. I'm sorry. Actually, before that, you had Blake Griffin, who at that time was one of the best power forwards in the league, even though he really didn't do much. But yeah, Chris Paul. Chris Paul. He just didn't stretch the floor. But he was Chris Paul, who was at almost his peak. He got vetoed before he could even go, so he decided to go to the Clippers. Jamal Crawford, 6th of the year. You had DeAndre Jordan, who was one of the dominant big men. I'm not gonna say he was the dominant big man, but he was in the top 10 list at that time during this time. You also had Eric Gordon. You also had what's his name?
And they played in the West, right?
Yes, they played in the West.
Okay. And Kobe was not there too, right?
Yes, Kobe was there, but Kobe was injured in 2 of those series, and they beat the Warriors, who was the up and coming, and they also beat them. You beat all these teams, but then end up. I'm sorry. You beat them one year, then you lost to them without Steph and Clay really truly developing it.
And the Spurs was over there too, right?
Yes, the Spurs was over there.
Okay, so it was the West back then when it was the West, and then Chris Paul.
You lost to every single. You lost to OKC, who only had at that time Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. The first year, the second year you lost to him when they added James Harden, who was still a rookie. So a rookie James Harden makes a difference to a team that's been together for 3 years and they were all in their prime.
Okay.
Not to mention, like I said, you had
Billy Donovan had that at OKC.
But I'm not saying. Like I said, you had a rookie James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and KD.
Saying. This is why I'm putting Doc in the conversation for Coach of the Year this year for what he's done in Philly for this year. Because he's still,
That's a go ahead. I want to hit that one.
He still has definitely been able to coach with the expectation of what they've needed to do with Philly, with the pieces that have been around him through everything else that has gone on with the GM. So to be able to have Philly in the position that they've been in, I don't think that that's just rolling the balls out there and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they will do in the postseason, that'll be to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
But is it the NBA Coach of the Year a regular season award?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
So I give you the regular season, but at the end of the day, like I said, Philly hasn't moved far away from what they did last year. Philly hasn't moved away from the year they did before that. So what much improvements did he really do to show that he's actually done something this season that was different from last season?
I think their spacing and their ball movement is better, and I actually think their initiation in the half court is a little bit better versus what it was in the previous seasons. Now, the adjustments we may see in a 7-game series will be different, but if I'm looking at the 82 games of the regular season, I just said I put him in the conversation.
I thought you said winning.
No. He didn't say win.
Mike Brown is the coach of the year.
There's no way.
No.
I mean, me personally, I don't even think Doc Rivers deserves to be in the conversation either, because at the beginning of the season, your go-to play is going to be, I'm going to run through James Harden, and he's going to take 25 shots. I'm going to run through Joel Embiid, he's going to take 25 shots. Tyrese Maxey is playing at an all-star caliber level, but yet he's not even going to get the potential minutes. Then you're going to go ahead and put Tobias Harris out of the whole scoring lineup, so now he only averages about 8 points per game, and you try to move him to a defensive as he's getting. You take up PJ Tucker, who you only put in for the first quarter for about 3 minutes, and after that, you don't put it back into the fourth quarter. So I'm like, what really are you doing?
PJ Tucker's a fourth quarter player.
I know, I understand that, but PJ Tucker is also one of their best defenders on that team. Tell me who's better.
That's why he's in the fourth quarter playing.
That's that first and fourth. You need him during the time. A lot of times they lose because they only play a 2-man ball.
Okay,
and you try to. We've seen that in Miami alone, just in this past game. Miami dismantled them, because they sit there and try to play that 1-2, and you have to play Joel for 12 quarters. You call that coaching because you got to leave a player out, one of the best players in the league out there for 12 minutes, and you still lose in 2 quarters?
It's not going to work in the playoffs.
I mean, I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm just talking about regular season. There's other guys like Mike Brown who was able to work the whole entire team into position where we can actually see. There's also people like Mark Dugard from the OKC Thunder that even though he doesn't have that, he still has Aaron Wiggins who can put up 15, 20 points on the board that's coming in. You still have other guys that are actually contributing to the team, but his whole team is based off of Joel Embiid and James Harden, as it should, but you don't even utilize the rest of the players on your team.
So quick question to both of y'all then. Would you consider Philly and the Kings teams similar because you have a dominant point guard and you have a somewhat dominant center?
No.
The Kings play faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, they have a 1-2 guy.
I watched.
The pace is a lot slower.
I watched Philly at the beginning of the season, and James Harden showed that, or was showing flashes of what he used to do, and he's coming out trying to get buckets, but that wasn't helping them. And then you had, like you said, Joel Embiid having the ball in his hands the entire time. Tyrese Maxey barely was getting touches, so he wasn't looking great. And then you have Tobias Harris sitting there. I don't know why he's just his talent's going to waste because he needs the ball in his hands. Bro, he literally, anytime he actually plays and gets the ball in his hands, he's a problem, but they don't want to utilize him.
Who is that?
Tobias Harris.
We're getting a little off topic now. We started talking about gameplay. I definitely concur with everything KDH said. He knows I'm not a huge Doc Rivers fan. Never been a fan. Think he's one of the most overrated coaches in the NBA right now.
He gets you to the playoffs now. I give him that. Let me say that. I will give him. He'll get you to the playoffs. And I give him that.
Yeah, like I think they give Budenholzer too much credit because I think the last I felt like no. I feel like we was last time we won the championship. We had the guy who coaching over the Lakers. He was the reason why.
He was a critic.
He was the reason why. He was the reason why we won. Since he left. Huh?
He's a Bucks fan. He's a Bucks fan. He's a Bucks fan.
He's a Bucks fan because they got great beer.
Nah, I've been a fan of Giannis since he came out. But no, I just think
Whoa. You did not know the skinny Giannis. Let's be real.
That's why I'm being quiet.
You know the developed Giannis.
No. Let me let you know.
I'm gonna be honest. I've known Giannis since they had Michael Carter Williams. I'll say that.
Yeah, I've known Giannis for a while.
I like
Carter Williams.
I like a lot of foreign players. So no, I knew him then. I wasn't watching as much because I was doing a lot of other things, so I didn't get a chance to really get him, Fonso.
No.
Get him. Ain't no kidding. No, I
You wasn't watching Giannis, who could barely bench press 110 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, that joker was in the league for a while before he really got
Here's
there.
the question. Did you know about Giannis in the combine?
Let me explain this to you.
Yeah, in the combine is what I'm saying. In the combine.
Did you know Giannis in the combine?
Let me break this down to you.
DT.
Hold on.
I'm
gonna break this down.
Did you know Giannis in the combine?
Let me break this down to you. Okay.
Okay.
Real quick. Break this down to you. I was a Russ fan. I've been a Russ fan since he came into the league.
Okay, that's
I'm gonna explain to you.
Okay.
I was an OKC fan, and I've been a fan, and I gradually over the years I'm a player fan more than a team fan. When it comes to NFL, I'm a team fan. When it
You're
comes
a millennial. Go ahead, I'm listening.
No, actually, I don't fall in the millennial category. Actually, I don't fall in that category. I'm outside that group. But I'm a player fan. It's a lot of people who are player fan that's old heads. I know that. A lot of people love Magic. Y'all love the Lakers. They love Magic. I started gravitating towards Giannis probably his third year. So I wasn't with his rookie year. No, I wasn't.
So the answer is you didn't know Giannis at the combine.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
That's what we're
saying.
saying.
I knew of him.
That's all we was asking.
No, it was like I'm not a bandwagon because I was a fan before they even won the championship.
Okay, and that's why I was just trying to understand. Yeah, that's what we was just trying to understand where it was at.
No, it was as he started developing. When I started seeing him progress, and I like his personality. That's another thing.
Okay, then there you go. That's where it starts. Okay, cool.
He's very humble. He's about family and everything, so I love stuff like that. So that's one thing. That's one thing I respect LeBron James. Not a LeBron fan, but I love the way he's about family and how he grew up and how he's been with his childhood sweethearts and they married him. I love that. I love the fact that LeBron's not out here. We're not hearing about LeBron running the street with every other woman. So that's one I respect about him. He's a real man. He's a family man. But we're going to move on from this because we're going to go on that debate. But yeah, Doc Rivers, we could flush him down the toilet. I think if they don't get outside, I'm gonna tell you this, and we got this on record. I think me and KBH talked about this. If they don't make it out the second round, which I don't think they're going to, he's done this season. Because I already know what's his name Mike D'Antoni there. They want Mike D there. They want Mike D to coach.
Is he not already there?
Is
he not already there?
No,
I
know they want him here.
Listen, what has Mike D'Antoni done? Like,
he ain't done that, but Daryl Morey and him like this, and he want him there. He want him there. That's who he want to coach now. And then because James Harden want him there as well. So I'm just letting you know that will be going, and Mike D probably come in, step in, and be the head coach.
Like I said, I think they only want him just because that 1 year James Harden won 60 games with Chris Paul.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I think they potentially.
I don't like Mike D. Mike D don't play defense. He ain't worried about defense. He just worried about scoring. I don't think he's a great coach, but him and Darren Moore are like real close, and he want him there because that's one reason they both left Houston the same time. And now since he took over the 76ers position, I know he's trying to get him back there. Okay, so we're going to move on to Defensive Player of the Year.
No, we did that.
No, that was the top 5.
Oh, defense.
I know. I already said what I said about Jaren.
Yeah, I got my top 3. I got number 3, Bam, number 2, Jaren, number 1, Brooke.
Yeah, I got Jaren. I don't really. The rest of them I don't really care about. I'm just gonna be honest.
I got Jaren and Bam and Holiday only because I wanted to put a guard there
for fun,
just for craps and giggles.
Yeah, mine's the same as yours. I got Bam, Triple J, and then Brooke.
Okay. Who you got number 1, Daniel?
Brooke.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Joel?
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Okay. I should have known that. I remember when you went at me earlier. I should have known that already. Okay. Who would y'all be surprised if they got will be in the conversation?
Evan Mobley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not gonna say surprised, but I won't be surprised if he wins it.
Oh no, I'd be highly surprised if he win it, personally. Because like I said, I would have Nicholas Claxton before Evan Mobley.
That's you. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if he wins it. Just don't be surprised. His defense is very well respected throughout the league.
I think he's 4th in the race.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not knocking. Like I said, I have him from number 4. I didn't have him on my top 3, but I have him on number 4.
But, all right. Let's move on to the most important award that every player go for that has turned into a huge heated debate on ESPN and NBA radio, especially between JJ Redick and what's his name, Kendrick Perkins. I remember that was interesting. MVP, most valuable player of the season. My three, it fluctuate, it changed, and it changed as of 2 days ago. Number three, I got Joker. Number two, I got Giannis. Number one, I got Joel.
Mm.
Originally, it was Giannis was number three, but he moved because Jokic been like the last.
I mean, just to be on the safe side, nobody has any different three, do they? Between those three,
Joel probably got Kyrie Irving in the top three.
I
mean, man.
Bro, look at you like those are fireworks.
Facts.
He's like, I'm
Let's
not.
keep it basketball. Let's keep it basketball.
That is basketball. Kyrie's basketball.
Yeah,
Not in
Kyrie
the MVP. Not in the MVP.
in the
Not-
MVP.
Nowhere close. I'm sorry. That's one of my favorite players. Nowhere close.
Is no.
Somebody,
His skill, if we talk about skill wise, maybe, but his dribbling skill.
somebody out there will probably try to argue LeBron is still being the MVP.
Nah,
Most valuable Uncle Drew. That's what he would be.
No,
Who you got?
I mean, it's Embiid, it's Joker, and it's Giannis, and
Okay.
it's Embiid as the MVP. Period.
Okay.
I got Jokic winning it. I still got Jokic.
Yeah.
I just don't see them give it. I just don't. Out of 3 times in a row, man, you got to go back. It's
Now,
a whole thing right there. And if he wins it 3 times in a row, there's gonna be there's gonna be some. So there's gonna be some things that go on behind the scenes on Fifth Avenue and in Secaucus that's gonna be very. Yeah, that's the only reason.
I was about to say I want to speak on that because Jokic would be mine. I mean, honestly, and truly,
Hold on one second. Let me get Alfonso 3 picks
Sorry.
for most valuable player.
Sorry about that. From the bottom up, Giannis, Joker, Embiid.
Okay.
So 3 of us had Embiid. Y'all 2 had KDH and Roach had Joker. Okay, go
Like
ahead.
I said, there's only 2 reasons. Like number one, Joker would be mine because for one, it's very hard to find a big that can help facilitate the offense where you don't really need a guard that much. The man comes down the court, the man holds the ball, the man has great footwork, the man has great post skills. He is very, not gonna say dominant, but he's very skilled at what he does for a big man that you're not probably gonna ever see in a long time. And especially for this season, I think the scoring really didn't change from last year much, and he still won it. I think the same. I mean, he's still doing what he needs to do, but he's averaging a triple double, and he's giving you 12 rebounds, which is the same as all 3 big men, and he's giving you way more assists than all 3 big men, almost double. So, I mean, on that aspect, besides Giannis, actually, I take that back. But outside of that, I know he's not going to win it because he's not going to win 3. I think Giannis is still underrated in that, and he could potentially come out of there somehow, some way. But at the end of the day, I think Joel's going to get it because it's hard to decipher with the leading scorer. It's always been leading scorer. But Jokic, and I think he played the second most games because if I'm not mistaken, Jokic played the most games. But Joel, more than likely, I'm going to have to say it now on record, he's going to probably get it. But any of those 3 win, I wouldn't be surprised because I think it's conversations for all 3. Just my personal would have to be Jokic.
I'm going to tell you this. I was hoping for Jason Tatum, really, this year. But at the beginning, because I like the way he started, but the second half of the season just hasn't been great for him. But I was hoping because I know he was in the conversation. He was leading at the beginning of the season. But of course, you know, MVP is not giving at the beginning of the season. He's giving at the end of the season. But I was hoping for him. I knew Luka was going to be hot at the beginning, but I knew he was going to cool off and he was going to drop off. And of course, the conversation next season, because he's not going to win it, is can Luka win it this year again? That's a narrative we hear every year for the past few years. Luka hasn't won it. Should he win it this year? Why he didn't win it last year? That could be the topic next year again. And
I mean, he's definitely up there in the categories. The difference is, though, he don't have the supporting cast to really help him when it comes. You have to win games at the end of the day if you're going to be MVP. And if you're not winning games, then it's going to be very difficult. And then with the Kyrie, they gave up a lot of points. So it's like if you're going to drop 30, but you're going to give your guy 25, how much are you really scoring? Like, how much of a difference is your scoring really doing?
I think if Dallas would have stayed in the top of the league, in the top 4? Because I told you, we had this conversation. We had this conversation on the previous podcast. I said that you cannot give the MVP to someone who finished 6 or below. Because the last person to finish that low, I think it was Russ. Russ is the one got MVP, and they finished like 7 or 8 or something like that.
Because he had a historical season.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was sitting there at, okay, they're not going to make the playoffs and his numbers were average. He had a historical season. So that's an anomaly. That doesn't happen all the time.
Right. Even though he was saying he's stat pattern and he was just chasing stats and stuff.
Yeah, but that's opinion.
I know. That's why I say that.
That's like a dude going to the club trying to get as many numbers as he can. You know what I mean? He's just trying to get it done.
And then that's the narrative.
They're still the 1 seed.
And that was
exactly.
And that was the narrative for Joker this year. He was stat pattern. They started saying he was stat pattern.
They were saying that. They were saying that about Joker. They were saying he's stat pattern, but
how can you stat pad?
How can you stat pad? But you're the 1 seed.
Kendra Perkins making that a narrative. You know that Kendra Perkins.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that.
We're talking. Yeah.
I remember that.
It's my thing. Is the stat padding is what he's giving the ball up. He's still going to the rim, and he's collecting other people's misses a lot of times, not just his own primarily. I mean, because his efficiency is pretty good, and you can't stat pad if you're throwing cross court passes to guys at the 3-point line that nobody anticipates you seeing but you. All right. And again, it's like the part of the narrative is people want to raise somebody up like a Joker, but then not potentially give them the reasonings and the credit to be successful. Now, Joel Embiid, I took into account his health. I took into account his production and remain consistency and availability. Okay, I took that all into account, and which is why I have him as my number 1. But if Joker wins it, I'm not going to be upset. I'm actually going to be intrigued, because then I'm like, the conversation is really going to happen amongst us is, oh, can he do 4? Or people are going to start trying to figure out, well, why did he get it? And starting to break that down, as opposed to if he is the best, because it's not a postseason award, so it doesn't matter if he gets out of the first round, but if it's the best, then for a 82-game season, he deserves it. He or Joel Embiid, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So Joker averaged 63% from the field and 9.8 assists. He played 69 games. Embiid played 66 games. I'm not going to split too much hairs on that.
Sure.
Giannis, though, would be very intriguing. 31.1 points per game, 11.8 rebounds. Nostalgia gets us all. If he wins it, he would be the first MVP since 72, 73, Kareem, to go and average 30, 10, 5 and shoot 50%.
Yep.
And there's some kind of symmetry there with Kareem
and the Bucks
in Milwaukee. And
so the narrative, you think it's a narrative? Huh? You think it's a narrative?
I absolutely don't. I think it's Joel Embiid. And I mean, that's just
okay. Let's make sure. I was like, I could see it happening somehow, some way.
And if it does, okay, I mean, that's fine. But here's my thing, and y'all can date me. I'm old school. How many MVPs does Jordan have?
He's got what, 4?
And how many does Kobe have?
Kobe's got what, 3?
So they just passed that thing around, man, because Kobe could have won it every year. Jordan could have won it every year. So
I mean, the ultimate is the whole Steve Nash. People don't like that. Now, at the end of the day, it's hard to make an argument when they say Steve Nash won back-to-back, averaging 15 and 10 and 12 and 12. The question that they asked was Kobe better at that time? Was LeBron better? And to give the MVP to Steve Nash, they're basically saying that's a no. So I'm like, are we really giving it to the best player, or are we giving it to who was the best player for that team?
Okay, but I mean that's why I say just remember some of the guys that have the votes, they can't make layups, man. I need you to understand it.
Side note, our friend Michael brought up a great idea that the NBA should do. He said they should have the MVP, most valuable player, but they should have the MDP, the most dominant player. So therefore, you can
That'll be
set
just like having an MOP. But at the rate they doing awards and trophies, it's coming. Just tell them to be patient.
I'm saying, but I'm saying, you're right. But I'm saying that
They
that
add a
would
new
help
one every time.
that would help differentiate the things though, because some people are like, oh, he did this. Well, yeah, he was dominant, but was he the most valuable player? Because a lot of times,
I think that comes with everybody in school now, so we define things differently. MVP, most valuable player. My thing is, you find out the value of a player when he doesn't play for that team.
Mm-hmm.
If you take him off of that team, then you find the value of the player. Okay, most outstanding player is when he plays, he's outstanding. Most dominant player, he may dominate in the assist to turnover ratio, but does he dominate?
Point production.
Exactly. So that's where that comes from. So it's the most valuable player, and it's a regular season award, and that's why it's a regular season.
Mm-hmm.
that's fair.
Because I mean, look at Jimmy Butler during the playoffs. It's not the Jimmy Butler in the regular season. It's not the Jimmy Butler regular.
And unfortunately, with the way this is trending now, where everybody wants to be healthy and play for a championship at the end, you're going to see a lot more of that, from guys, because it's what it matters when we need 16 wins. Well, there's some hard 16 wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's another reason why, like, the MVP is like they're going to keep it like that, because at the end of the day, some of these guys are going to only play 60 games nowadays. Like they need to be ready for playoffs and the potential of getting injured.
But see, my thing is, like, I like with the new CBA, they got to play 65. I really wish it would have been 67. And everybody talking about the NBA season is too long at 82 games. Well, guess what? If you drop it to 72 or 66, you're going to have the same problem. It's just nobody's playing with pride anymore. To the point earlier about Anthony Edwards saying what he said about Durant, we need more of that. I'm going to show up. I'm going to try to play you. I mean, there's a point guard down the street somewhere in 285, and he never show up against a team over 500. So I just, you're going to have more of that. Now I got to put parameters in place for you to be able to play to get an award, because you load managing. But also, let's keep in mind this, and I want to say this because it kind of goes into this. So you don't have as many back-to-backs, and you don't have as many 3 and 4 days or 4 and 5 games. So what happens now, you've got this play on Wednesday, off on Thursday, play on Friday, off on Saturday. There's no recovery. With the old schedule, you would get 2 or 3 days off. Then you'd have a back-to-back and then a day off and then another. So what has happened, you get the schedule alteration, but you don't get that stretch of 2 or 3 days off anymore because, we want to play to the guys, to this and that, and I will, and you can call me an old head all I want. I actually went and looked this up. When Jordan came back his second time, he played 82 games all 3 years. But there were certain nights, you look at the box score, he only played 22 to 27 minutes, 22 to 28 minutes, cut the minutes back, but still played. And I think that's part of what we miss now. Load management now is do what you got to do to get to the league, and then load manage until you get to your next contract. The load manage to get to your next contract. The load manage to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to.
I want to play you. I want to beat you. It's everybody got to eat. Everybody, no, you know what? I don't want you to eat, because you know what? If I beat you, then I'm gonna eat more because I'm gonna be playing and you not.
See, the only problem with that, though, is you have to understand this: NBA is a business, and they make their money based off the players. So if the player's not there and the fans don't want to come to see this player just because he's injured, you losing money. So they try to, I think in their contract somewhere, they're only allowed to play a certain amount of games. And I think it's no different than an actual job. You have work days, you have sick days, you have leave days. I think they make them not play these many games because it's like NBA is looking for longevity. Michael Jordan, within his best times, were only 6 years. Well, what if we could take LeBron and make him 20 years? What if we could take KD and make 16, 17 years? What if we could take, and I think that's how I'm looking at it from a business perspective. I think player-wise, they should play. I think they should be wanting to go out there, play 110% the whole nine. But I think from a business perspective, NBA doesn't want that. They want the longevity of these players to make the most amount of money.
The NBA, to piggyback on you, some of those things are in the contracts. And yes, it is a business because that's why you see certain rotations and certain guys play in this. And I'm not going to tip too much off in this forum, but at the end of the day, If your star is sitting too much, that's not good for the league. That's not in it.
That's true.
That's not. It's
But
not.
I mean, if you look at it though, a lot of the stars this year only played up to 60, 65 games max. There's 82 games.
And guess what? So here's my thing. If they drop the season to 66, then that number drops to 44.
It drops to 40.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's going to. It's going
So,
to. I mean,
you know,
I'm not saying against it. It's just
I like the threshold of 65. I would have put it at 67, quite honestly. But 65 out of 82 is still 80% of the season.
how many people
I get it.
Hold on, Roach, because we got to move on a second. Roach, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, this is piggyback of what I was saying real quick. I was like, it's gonna be interesting because I think when Victor Wembanyama comes in the league next year, I think they're gonna have him on a game restriction. I don't think they're gonna let him play every single game.
no.
Mm-mm.
Look
No,
at
they're not.
look at
No,
Chet.
they're not.
He got injured playing
hurt
LeBron in
yet.
the program.
I'm saying, but do you think they're gonna allow him to play 60 games next year? Watch
Yes.
it. I bet you he probably won't.
I don't.
I bet you he's supposed to be.
I can't say what I on this platform, but I got you. I see you guys going.
I mean, it's some things I know. This is like I just don't with Victor. I think they're gonna try to protect him. And it's like the only team, honestly, that the load management makes sense. It's the Clippers. Like they can't stay healthy. Like Paul George, they've been doing load management the entire time, trying to keep people healthy. And then everybody's like, "Oh, they're doing it, but they're playing with healthy players." Paul George is injured now. Like they can't stay healthy for some reason.
Injuries happen, and they happen whenever they
want to. Man,
You know,
oh,
and,
do
you
I know that?
My thing is when a player is 35 or 36, yeah, you give them a night off here and there, and that's what Popovich did. But he did that for older teams. Now it's load management. He's got this. He's got that, and you know, it's at some point though. The purity of basketball, the purity of competition, it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay, so we have to move on to because it could be a whole discussion. We could talk about this for hours. Just real quick before we wrap up the show, I know we got the play-in tournament coming up, so I want to get everybody's opinion on these play-in games because I know we're gonna do a show on the first round of the playoffs, but I want to get everybody's opinion on what matchup y'all looking forward to, who y'all think will have the most exciting matchup, because as we know, we got it's gonna be the OKC versus the Pelicans, the Lakers versus the Timberwolves, the Hawks versus the Heat, and the Chicago Bulls versus the Toronto Raptors.
No,
I'm gonna say
no. Where you see that at? It's the Lakers and the Timberwolves.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No, I thought I said the Timberwolves. I said Lakers
You
and
did.
Bulls.
you said
You did, but you put them up against what's it called, and then it's the Pelicans and the Thunder.
yeah.
No, I was just naming our team. I said the Pelicans versus the Thunder, the Lakers versus the Timberwolves, the Bulls versus the Raptors, and the Hawks versus the Heat.
Well, to me, I think Miami should beat the brakes out of Atlanta. Just to go ahead and put that away. I think the Lakers are probably gonna, without Jalen McDaniels and their whole little ruckus they just had, the Lakers should take care of business. The OKC one's gonna be interesting though.
I think the Lakers will win that game against Minnesota, but I'm not going to count them out. But I think Minnesota still is going to make the playoffs. So I think the Lakers will cash in on 7. Minnesota will cash in on 8. I think Miami will cash in on 7, and Atlanta still will cash in on 8.
I like Miami getting into that 7th spot, and Chicago and Atlanta. Let's say they both happen to win.
That means Chicago will come here on Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeesh.
And then I look, LeBron, despite the games he's missed or what have you, he's gonna make sure they don't lose to Minnesota.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and I'll take Pelicans or OKC.
That's a good series. Well, good game. I thought not series. Good game.
I'm gonna take OKC.
Thank you, Alfonso.
Yeah.
I was
I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, I still take OKC on this one.
Yeah, I'll still take OKC.
and then OKC Minnesota will be very good.
That'll be good television.
Yeah,
That'll be good
Minnesota.
television.
I'm gonna go last.
I just think that that Lakers Grizzlies matchup. I'm going to say this, and I'm getting way ahead of myself. And I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but if Minnesota and Memphis meet again in the first round, you couldn't ask for nothing else. But
All right,
lead at the Friday night.
KD, go with your picks for this.
Yeah, I'm pretty much agreeing with the rest. I think that he's going to beat the Hawks. I think Lakers going to beat Timberwolves. I got Thunder beating Pelicans, and with the Bulls and Raptors, it's tough. It's tough because Raptors in the playoffs sometimes, they ain't look too good this season, and Bulls, it could be a random game and they just don't show up either. And
they don't.
I don't know how they're gonna feel today. I know they made it to where they want to play 82 games. Well, they played 82 games. DeMar and well, I think it's just DeMar. But I mean, Bulls have been playing one of the best defense in the second half of the season.
Last week, though. Not the last week.
This is where it gets interesting because DeRozan's going to have to go back to Toronto to play, and he's got a chance to put them out. And then we're talking about two coaches who might not even, they may be coaching their last games with those respective teams. So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go against the odds in this group. I'm gonna give Timberwolves. They gonna upset the Lakers. They gonna get that 7th spot. The Lakers are gonna beat whoever come out. Lakers gonna beat whoever come out of the Pelicans and OKC. They gonna get that.
Well, no, if the Lakers win, then they don't have to play anybody.
No, I said they gonna lose. No, I'm saying they gonna lose. I said Timberwolves gonna take that. I think Timberwolves gonna upset them.
Nah, Minnesota's not gonna win in LA in the playoffs. That ain't gonna happen.
I'm just going. Let me do this. I'm gonna go against the odds. I'm gonna say they gonna get the upset. Lakers gonna get the 8th seed. They're gonna knock out whoever come out of that between OKC and Pelicans. But I'm gonna say OKC gonna come out of that. On the opposite end, I think the Heat gonna take the Hawks in the first game, and I think Toronto gonna win the second game and gonna beat the Hawks and take the Hawks out of the playoffs. I think Toronto gonna get the 8th spot.
That's a tough one.
That's 8. If Toronto gets Atlanta, I like that matchup.
The Hawks have been playing horrible the last few weeks, and I don't see anything changing.
It sounded like that man went to Vegas. The
Hawks are not a very good basketball team, but neither are the Raptors. Neither are the Bulls.
No,
with the Raptors, you're literally praying Fred VanVleet is available because Fred VanVleet will just disappear.
Yeah, and I mean Siakam and Scotty Barnes, they've been this, that, and the third.
Siakam. That's it. No one else. Just
hold on. I tweeted about this. The announcer at the Raptors said Scotty Barnes is 10 years light head away of Giannis. He's 10 years above Giannis.
No comment on
that.
That.
I know. He said that live on air.
I'm not even entertaining that.
Stop with the hot takes, man.
No,
Scotty Barnes is a good player.
I'm not entertaining that. I'm not entertaining that.
That's hot take. You going
I know.
for that?
No, for him.
Wait, hold on. Here's my last question. Was it a Toronto Raptors broadcast?
That's what I said.
Okay, Matt Devlin is known to say stuff like that, and Jack Armstrong is known to say stuff like that. Because guess what? Most people in the United States don't hear their broadcast, so they're gonna say that in Canada.
Yeah, because
when he said that, I said the drug test is needed. A drug test is needed.
No. It's legal. It's legal in Canada. You know what I mean? So it's not needed. He did it. You know what?
I wasn't talking about weed though.
No. But he put that out there, and look what he got.
That's what I'm saying. He got somebody listening about that. Exactly. He got somebody listening.
He got you hearing it and going like, "Oh man, I got somebody."
Because I would not brought that up. I do not care. Nope. There's no comparison in the NBA
Scotty
to Giannis
Barnes
right
can
now.
Jump to the moon. He's better than Giannis.
No, it was just when he said that, I was like, "This is an asinine comment. What are you on?" That's like I said. Yeah, I said I know it's a Raptors. Because sometimes I listen to the opposing station because I could hear I got like over 1,000 channels, so I could hear the opposing team commentary. And then when I heard that, I was like, I said, okay,
They just wanted you to talk about it later. That's it.
I said, let me go.
9 times 10, famous stuff. Look at Kevin Samuels. Women say the most randomest things just so it can get popular. It's just really all it is. I'm just being honest. Look at that, man. People, you get famous off of saying random things. That is Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes. Where is the game comparison between Giannis? Because there's none.
right,
Scotty
man.
Barnes a good player, man, but I'm not.
I give him a good player. I
That's-
think he's a great
That's
defensive
somebody
player.
trying to say something. Ooh, I was about to say something. Ooh.
Hold on.
It's
This is
unfiltered.
unfiltered.
It's unfiltered.
This unfiltered.
It's unfiltered. Go ahead, say what you need.
No, because see, y'all don't know my unfilteredness.
Yeah, this is unfiltered.
I think I do know your unfiltered somewhat, not completely, but I have seen some of your unfiltered tweets.
Man, that's some
Yeah,
stupid-
because see, I like that, and I mean, look, that's why I named the announcer that said that. That's why I asked you was it Toronto. It is.
It was when he said this, I did this. This is the first time.
It's blasphemy.
And guess what? And you're gonna hear that announcer on TNT during the playoffs. So get ready. He's gonna say something else too.
Hopefully for one game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, serious?
It's the first time.
Nah, Toronto.
He probably
No,
come out and say,
No, he got a nice little contract, bro. So he he'll have a playoff series in the first round on TNT.
all right. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all being on the show. This was a great show. We had a great time.
Indeed.
Definitely, it was fun. Real quick, I'm gonna ask y'all this real quick. I want to ask you a question: who's better, TNT or ESPN hosting on basketball game?
In terms of announcer
Like,
play
like-
by
like-
play
I
guy.
can't answer that question.
There's
Huh?
more to me. There's more character with one group than the other, but I can't necessarily say one group's better than the other.
I like TNT. I like when TNT host game.
Why?
I like TNT. Brock. I like Ernie, Chuck, Shaq, and Kenny. It's just
For entertainment purposes,
That's
yeah.
it. That's just it. They have more character.
They're more character. They don't be. I don't think as much as they try to follow the narrative as much. They do in a way, but not as much as ESPN.
I just feel like TNT is very biased.
But look,
Who is biased?
He said
TNT.
TNT.
You think TNT biased?
Yeah, with the Shaq, Ernie, and Kenny. Sometimes I feel like they're a little
That's
biased.
inside the NBA. Are you talking about their overall NBA coverage, their games,
not
their
the overall,
productions?
No, he was talking about Kenny and that.
I was talking about like show overall too.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Oh, no. Okay, I thought you were just talking about Kenny and Shaq. And
I
all
think
that. I was
ESPN
like,
more biased than
No, ESPN is
Yeah, that's why I was finna lose my because, bro, yeah. No, TNT. Since you say TNT is biased, I'm gonna be biased because TNT has the best NBA coverage, and they are miles better than ESPN, and their NHL coverage is miles better than ESPN, and TNT and Warner Media do an absolutely outstanding job covering the NBA. They cover it better than anybody ever has outside of NBC.
Yeah, like I said, as an overall, I give it to TNT. I just sometimes feel like Shaq and Chuck. Sometimes their points make no sense, and it's all about the past. And I feel like that's what they mainly talk about when they get into the arguments. Well, back then, it's a new era, bro. It's a new era.
Okay, but here's the deal.
You ain't got no ring. Stop talking.
Here's the deal, though. You still have to, when you're in a room with them and you're sitting and talking basketball, you have to.
I give him the utmost respect now.
No, I'm saying you have to respect it. There is a dichotomy there in that studio. All you see is it is all real time, whatever.
Old school, yeah.
But guess what? We're going back to that. And I promise you, and that's why I push for Anthony Edwards the way I do. We're going back to that. The way I push for Mikal Bridges. And Fonzo was gonna like this. Fonzo, Mikal Bridges started 83 games this year. What's the last player in the NBA to start 83 games in a season?
5 years in a row.
Dude, he's an old head. It's like
Who?
Shoot.
Nope. You saw him this weekend.
I saw him this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, that's right. Rondo.
Nope. Josh Smith.
Josh Smith. Okay, that was the other one. That was going to be my other one.
I saw Josh.
Last player in the NBA to start 83 games in a season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Josh Smith, that was back in what, 2015 was the last game for him last season?
14, 15. But that's the last time somebody's played 83 games.
Yeah.
And
But I'm saying between that and here we are 8 years, we got 1 to 2 players, I think, that played 82 with Mikal Bridges.
No, 83 games. It's only happened 42 times in the career. He played 83 games, remember, because he got traded in the middle of the year.
That's right.
See, that's why the old heads have to be here sometimes. I'm just messing with you, KDH. I'm just messing with you.
I was like, wait,
That's like, here's my last one. Hey, Fonzo, I'm having fun with you now, KD. So have you ever heard the term since the merger
of the ABA and
Yeah,
NBA?
the ABA and NBA.
Yeah.
What about?
Roach, I knew you did. I'm messing with KDH right now.
Oh, trust me, I know more than him. I'll bet you money on that. I'll bet you on God's on truth on that one.
I'm just having fun with y'all, man. I
Oh,
like
yeah,
it.
no.
All right, guys. Well, I'm wrapping up the show. I appreciate you guys. I thank everybody who tuned in, who watched the show. I've seen quite a few people come in and out and watch the show. We talked about the end of the season awards. We had our picks. Some were controversial, some wasn't. I got grilled a lot, but it's cool. It was fun. I said a couple just because you got to get the show.
Your hot takes. She just got a lot of hot takes, man. You got a lot of clickbait. You got a lot of clickbait.
He works on ESPN.
Hey, that's how you market yourself. You gotta have clickbait. You gotta have clickbait. Come on, now. Come on.
The
I'm trying to
title of it is Jared Jackson Trash.
I ain't never.
I'm not gonna get over that one, bro.
I'm trying to be the next.
He's top two, but he's just not. He's his second team.
Hey,
That's just like there's no basketball relevance there. But okay, we got to.
it was. Don't go there just because I ain't having my all defensive team.
You said he's neck and neck with Brick Lopez, but he's in his second team.
Why?
DeMar DeRozan. No, it's just because you had DeMar DeRozan up there for me. He's not better than Jaren Jackson Jr. defensively right now.
They play two different positions. That's why he was.
Oh, there's the positions.
He was a small forward, sir. DeMar is considered small forward. I did my research.
So was Giannis.
No, Giannis considered power forward.
Giannis is a small forward.
He's a small forward.
No,
forward.
but when you look it up, it's power forward. Unfortunately, they got him listed as power forward.
Okay. Well, you know what? How about we just say it's positionless basketball?
Well, hold on. No, hold on. If he's there, why'd you put him in your small forward for the first team?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I had him at power forward.
Man, you just caught him like somebody reneging his spade.
Sir, I had.
We just, man, come on, man.
I had Jason
Tatum.
I know y'all
you,
can
man. We
I had Jason Tatum as small forward.
We all had Jason Tatum. I'm just messing with you.
Nah, you weren't messing with me. You forgot. You getting like the old heads. You getting old. Okay. All right, man. Well, I appreciate y'all. Real quick, Taco. Do y'all want to talk about any projects y'all got coming up anytime soon, guys? Anybody? I know.
Just see you in the gym. That's all I got right now because I know we got crap. See you in the gym.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning into the show. Once again, this is your boy DT. You're watching DT's Unfiltered Uncensored. Whether you watch on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, or you listen to on a radio, digital, dope radio, you catch me on there. We got another show coming up this Friday. We're going to talk about the first round of the playoffs. We're going to get to talk about the first round of the Timberwolves versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Because I got them beating the Lakers in the play-in, but we shall see. We shall see. I can't wait. I hope they do because I'm gonna tag all of y'all. But all right, anything y'all want to throw out there before we wrap it up?
I think that's it for me.
Well, I appreciate y'all too. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. On YouTube. Click that button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost halfway there. All right, this is your boy, the one man, the myth, the legend. Your boy DT. I'm out.
It's DT. You have just now listened to the most talked about podcast in the country. DT, Unfiltered, Uncensored. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time. Damn. DT.